The date is the 27th of Javago, year of our kingdom, 998. The weather, there's a Christmas in the air that can only come from being by the ocean at nighttime. Cool and with a bit of a bite. And the situation, I am returning to the Gold Dragon with Endry. I am surprised we went to the memorial. After what happened in the bathroom with N, for a moment I was sure we'd avoid it. Willow and N are both very similar in a way that I am not. That's probably why I was wrong in my assumption. A dam spilling over, even briefly, would not be enough to dissuade N from attending the memorial. For that, I'm glad. I'm glad Willow said what only Willow could say. Glad that N found comfort in something that only Willow could give them. And glad that we attended. It was good for N to go, even if it didn't feel good to go. The memorial was a brighter affair than I expected. Shrines of flame adorned in brightly colored bouquets and lined with vibrant gifts that spoke to each of those who are no longer with us. Each was a brief glimpse into the lives lost, rich and full of color. People laughed and cried, a recounting of tales told many times before enough to stir fond memories where familiarity already has roots. Grief attended, and it wore every face it had, and I stood outside of it, watching and searching for blades and ill intent. We found some, of course. Alonzo Reedfoot, his expression of grief was one born to save face, the face of his master. He's off. It's weird, I can't explain it. His grief is a farce, and I would tear it from him, would that not cause more pain from the bereaved. Warfred Bartosz, his grief in his art, as one would expect. A mirror carved with words of remembrance, a mask painted in the visage of the departed, a pin bearing a face of sorrow. His grief is one I do not understand, and I have no intention of trying. Errol de Thorani, grief-laden with guilt for the role he played in making this tragedy. His hand invited death upon them with naivety and foolishness. He will bear that guilt and that grief for some time yet, I imagine. Others, their intent was not so ill. Artists from the auction, apologetic, frightened, obligated, friends, family, broken, bereft, mourning, Brina de Madani. Any grief is shielded by determination. She will prevent this sorrow from capturing Regalport again. She heard Audrey's words, and will weather them as she does this grief, and use it as fuel to bring truth to light. And Caster, their grief is tied up with the fault they have no need to bear. They'll hold on to it, as they do with all their grief. It will form them into something hard, something unmovable. Willow, familiar, but unwilling to be worn. Their grief is held low where it cannot reach their face. But slowly and very slightly, it is touching their features, and I wonder how long they will wear it when they let themselves. I hope it is kind to them. My seeker Elsa, grief is etched into her skin. Years of death weigh heavy, even on one as light as her. Grief exists there, but it daren't contort her serenity, a calm for those who face a maelstrom. And me, outside, pretending I know grief beyond my own porcelain fingers. My expression bears only the grief of sympathy. I'm sorry for not stopping this, and I will do my best to correct it for those who are not here and those who remain. But I don't know grief as these people do, so I can only watch and hope that these hands of mine will be enough to carry the weight that only grief inflicts.
Damn. Luca, runner-up for poet. Right, I was going to say, move aside, Mr. Elham. We have another poet here.
Better watch out.
My lord. You better, what, with his eyes? From? Come on.
Yeah, that's the joke.
That's not a good one. Damn, Luca? Mr. Observation?
Yeah.
Century. Right, of course. Sentinel.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yeah. He's self-7. Oh my god. He can read. Wow.
We pick up at night on the 27th of Dravago, where Luca is solemnly bearing the weight of a very drunk Audrey
Damn, really?
on the way home to the Gold Dragon after being at Brina Madani's office.
Probably
Will
end
you give
now.
me a Constitution saving throw?
Okie dokie. Yeah, that's about
No.
right.
No, you're still Audrey because you do not have the wherewithal
No,
to
that's fair.
to change anything about you. You are focused on keeping as upright as possible. You know, having 4 shots of whiskey back to back to back
Yeah.
on a not full stomach seemed like a good idea at the time, but it's really caught up with you.
Regret.
I think Luca would have made Audrey drink some water before they left. Some
Oh,
of his
for
lemon
sure.
water.
From the jug behind the desk.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine, I'm fine.
Yeah, you're fine, honey. Just drink this water.
I can drink more than that.
No. There's a lemon. Stuck on this lemon.
Where'd you put I just have them in his pockets. Lemon wedges.
No,
Emergency
Brina
cocktail.
Stole
provided
them
them.
from Brina's office.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot Brina gave us lemons. Gave you lemon water.
Yeah,
She
so
gave me a lemon and water. I
Yeah.
made
Oh.
lemonade. Literally.
Anyway, at this point, Luca, you have managed to safely convey truly wasted Audrey back to the room at the Gold Dragon.
yeah, she's probably leaning on Luca quite heavily.
Oh yeah. Arm around her waist just to hold her up. I could
Yeah.
carry her, but I'll
But
spare
you'll
her
give
some
her
of
the
her
dignity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine walking up the Gold Dragon with like Audrey like bridal carried into the room, just like flat drunk. Oh my gosh, hoisted over your shoulder like a sack of shit.
She'd probably kick, so
Well.
you're better off if just leaving her on the floor.
Fireman carry. Hold her legs down so she doesn't kick me in the face.
Just drag her by the wrist up the stairs.
Just grab a handful of hair and pull.
No. Anyway,
Just gets
I-
longer and longer when you try to pull it.
it's like a dog leash that just like extends.
Luca gets to the top of the stairs and just does a long bundle of hair down the stairs.
I think this is the joking conversation that Luca and Audrey are having
Yeah.
as you stagger into your hotel room where Willow and Seeker Elsa are. It's not
I
that
imagine-
late at night.
If you guys show up, I think Willow. Well, it's Willow, by the way. So their masks off, and they're in the middle of something. But I imagine like, how do you guys look when we open the door for you? Or
Well,
when you guys
Audrey
open
looks
the door?
wasted. Luca looks normal.
Yes, Luca looks normal. He's probably like, yes, you're pretty kind of face. Like,
Oh, hi, Seeker. What are you
Oh, it's
doing
just-
here?
We're just gonna pause and just like, oh, I'm gonna do. What do I do to check you?
Insight or perception?
Insight. I'll do insight.
Audrey had a little bit to drink.
Just a couple of
Evidently.
drinks. But it's alright. I feel fit as a fiddle.
Like broken strings. Come on, let's put you to bed.
I suppose that's my cue to leave.
Oh, yeah, you can stay. You can
words.
stay. I'll just pass out right here. Audrey misses the bed. Like sinks down
Audrey
on the
does like a
carpet behind
stagger
Simon.
into the bed.
Yeah. Like
Oh my
halfway
God.
onto the bed.
It's the sort of like awkwardly trying to climb out of a pool, but you don't have enough leverage, except
Yeah.
it's on a bed.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
just gonna sleep right here. So cozy.
Yes, yes. You
Strokes
go
the
to sleep.
blankets.
We're gonna
Seeker
cast a
also-
look to Luca of like a what the hell happened? Like just a quiet, like wordless look of damn. That was fast.
Luca nods as he's picking Audrey up, undoing her boots.
I think Seeker also comes over and brings you like a sort of like a bread roll. Perhaps you should eat a little something before you fall
Ah.
asleep.
So kind. That's the Seeker Elsa I know, always so thoughtful. Grabby little hands rising up from the bed. to take
Yeah,
the
she,
Red Bull
yeah,
into the bed.
yeah.
Nibbles on it. Like a little bundled hamster.
Yeah. I think Seeker also like
Oh,
pet.
No.
Seeker also make sure to like move your hair out of the way so you don't get crumbs.
Thanks,
no,
Seeker.
In it.
how embarrassing.
Or hair in your mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both bad.
You're wearing my jacket still, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. And Audrey's wearing the morning clothes, but with a jacket
Yeah.
on. Nice, nice. Yeah, I think Fish Dog's gonna just float over and look at you. Willow's going to gesture to Elsa as if they were having a conversation before and say, for example.
I suppose so.
Luca
As Fish
looks
Dog
at
kind
you
of
both.
like wiggles
what?
around to check if Audrey's okay.
Audrey's like a little hand drifts out to try and pet it.
Fish Dog will settle in your hand, I guess. It's Fish Dog makes perception check. Poison? Oh.
A good
Very
kind
drunk,
of
yes.
poison.
She would be considered mechanically poisoned, yes.
Yes.
Oh. Fish Dog's
This
like, oh no,
bitch drunk."
poison.
Not lethally, just enough to impair.
Yeah.
And just a smidgen tiny bit, just a minuscule amount wasted.
Hmm. We can see that, Audrey. Why don't you sit up? Finish
Mm.
your bread. Okay?
I'm comfortable right here.
Okay. Just hang your head over the bed so you don't choke on your vomit when you go to sleep.
Please, Luca. You don't believe I've never been this drunk before, do you?
Yes, but just humor me, okay?
No,
Willow's
don't
going
blame
to-
me if I roll over.
Willow's going to like kind of step between Elsa and Audrey to like protect what remains of your dignity and be like, perhaps you I don't know if you guys are going to speak. Elsa and Luca, it is late, maybe.
I'm sure we can catch up in the morning. It is a bit
Mm.
late, yes.
Mm.
Audrey, I would like you to make another Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Oh no.
Whether or not you throw up on Nana.
Oh my god.
I think it's
God.
you don't throw up on. Okay, make a Dexterity saving throw now.
Oh my god.
This is what I get.
Oh my god, man!
It's a mess. I'm afraid we the warning that Willow and everybody else gets is Audrey hiccuping, and then like we cut to a wide shot of like noises of dismay
Oh.
from outside the gold dragon window.
Oh yeah, I'm going to like usher Elsa out.
Yeah, she good,
Yeah.
man.
We're gonna cut forward in time. Also, I don't think Seeker Elsa would like let herself be ushered out. She is a doctor. She has dealt with vomit plenty of times before.
Worse than
I
that.
feel like Willow was ushering her out, and then at that puke, Elsa wheels back in and is
Yeah.
Oh man.
Let's get this cleaned up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Go team.
sometime later, you are alone in the room. N is N again, cleaned up, probably wearing different clothes.
I
Pajamas.
opened the window so
Yeah.
big. Window's fully open and Willow's standing right in it. Just
Yeah.
breathing outside air.
Fish dog is
it's-
like on the table, its fin spinning to make a tiny fan towards the window to try and aerate the room.
Everything's been cleaned up. Sheets have been replaced. You're good.
I am never drinking again in my life.
I've heard that before.
I will say, now that it's come out, you're feeling a bit better if dried out,
Yeah,
and you're ready to sleep.
and it's flat on the bed.
Spread eagle.
Haphazard limbs, more likely.
I think I will order some food just to.
I think
Willow
you
would have gotten
probably-
enough food for you.
Yeah, there's like leftover dinner,
Oh, good.
so you don't have to order anything. It's like a nice cold dinner,
Nice.
Yeah.
picnic
I'll just
dinner.
eat all the leftovers.
Yeah. Plenty there.
Is N going to sleep?
I mean, hopefully. And it's just laying there in kind of a shameful daze at this point.
Yuck. And that one on a Constitution saving throw, I'm
Right.
afraid that's what happens.
Yep. I did drink
Man.
4 shots of whiskey, so in quick succession.
think-
Yeah.
Wait, are you the only one between us that has drunk puked?
In public, yes.
Yeah, in front of the others. I
Yeah.
think Willow's gonna clink a glass of water with Luca.
Yeah. Congratulations. Now it's just down to you and me.
Who will win?
I'm gonna
I'm going to make
assume
that
me. Just by sheer volume.
I'm honestly surprised it wasn't me first.
I've
Thanks,
seen
Anne.
the way Willow holds their liquor. Well, you don't drink quite as liberally as I do, so.
I don't think many people do. Gotta
Hmm.
say
It's also been some time, and you would say probably since before the lighthouse that you really indulged in
Yeah.
alcohol as heavily as you have tonight.
It's been a while since I've had quite that reason to.
This is true. You're probably drifting off at this point.
Eh. If you say anything to N might respond in like a nonsense phrase.
Oh yeah.
As if like I'm still awake and I'm still listening to what you're saying, but they're not awake and they don't know what you're saying.
And how you feeling? All the biscuits that green.
library. My favorite thing to bake at the library is apples. No, yeah. I don't think Willow's going to try and engage you in conversation.
Just let you fall asleep.
They might ask Luca, like, well, anything interesting happen? Other than Audrey's first evening of being wasted.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell you.
Oh yeah, forgot.
We did meet someone interesting at the detective's office.
Should I stop Luca from talking?
That's all
Probably.
he's saying. That's all he's saying.
Yeah, Willow's going to hold their hand up. They are going to insight check out of habit because you said words.
I don't know how I would convey Errol to Thorani on my face, but
Do you,
I think-
is it the wince?
I think there is a wince of like interesting negative.
But not dangerous. Just like unpleasant.
It's the Excalibur face.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, does Luca do a little limp wrist while he goes?
No. It's
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
please. It's
I'm
just
joking. Luca's always
it's just
limp wrist.
a polite grimace.
Do I associate that grimace with Arl de Thorani?
No.
Okay.
No.
it's
You don't
just
know who it
someone
is,
who
but
polite
it'll be-
grimace.
Yeah. But
Alright.
it is
They were certainly
Harmless.
interesting.
it's
Maybe subtle.
noteworthy in that they have made Luca grimace.
Okay.
How was your evening, Willow Jenkins?
Fine.
I'm looking at them like, yes.
Oh, they said that like conclusively. I spoke with Secret Elsa about various things, and that's what we did until you two happened.
I think one of us happened and one of us followed.
In any case,
How are you feeling?
Willow shrugs and like, fine.
Yes, sneak a little insight check on Willow's emotional state.
They say fine. Shite. They are fine. I think they almost they seem a little surprised that they responded fine so quickly and that they kind of meant it.
Yeah.
And they're like,
I think you're feeling pretty good considering the circumstances. You had a very nice chat with Seeker Elsa, like a nice dinner. You're feeling settled, I would say.
"Didn't
Content.
puke?" Yeah. I think the thing that Luca catches with his insight check is that Willow's almost a little surprised that they actually mean that.
Seeker Elsa has a way of leaving things fine.
Suppose so.
Good thing you're sleeping next to the window.
Hmm. Hey, what's the condition of those flowers you gave me, by the way? Mim's asking.
Mm. Well, it's been almost a week, so
But if you've been changing the water, they're still probably alive.
They're fading a little bit, but they're
Mm.
fine.
Willow might just mention off the cuff. I intend to finish the alarms when I get back to salvage for the poppy,
for the
as I promised months ago.
wow.
I was telling Sikalsa about. Long story short, I will be doing that when we get back at the earliest.
We'll both be very appreciative.
I think Willow's gonna just like plop onto bed. Is it bedtime? It's seeming bedtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seeing N get all cozy seems like it's going to like invoke.
It is about time to wind down and
Yeah.
stop for the night.
Luca's gonna finish his dinner and write, as he does
Yeah.
every night.
Yeah. Actually, whoops, Willow didn't.
What's up?
I think Willow's going, once they lie down, they're going to realize that, oh, wait a minute, I didn't. They will ask Luca, and your meeting was fine? Both of your visits to Brina.
Well, I wasn't involved, so I can't say. You'll have to ask N in the morning.
Yeah, Willow doesn't know how to word it, so never mind.
What?
Is Luca saying what out loud or?
No, that's Sarah.
Oh, no, yeah, Willow doesn't know how to word it, so never mind. I think they're just going to stop.
Yeah, just as a reminder, we had 2 meetings with Brina today, technically.
Oh my god.
The one where where Audrey talked about Warfred's alibi discrepancy, and then later the one about where Anne went off alone. The one with the Warfred discrepancy also had Brina asking for Gil to come in and testify.
Yeah. Have we mentioned that to Willow?
No.
No.
No. Got
That's
her
what I
name
was
on the
thinking.
bathroom floor.
Yeah.
So just in case it was unclear, Willow said both, and you said you're not involved, but you were technically involved in one.
I think Luca might take a minute to remember that and say, oh, I think it would be prudent for Gil to speak with the detective.
Oh, have I been summoned?
Not formally, but we did say we would see if we can get you to go in and make a statement about the events of the evening.
Okay.
And I think it would be best if you did. But I can't say any more than that, so just trust me.
Well, it gives him a side look. They weren't actually asking that, but you know what? Sure, business is business. They will nod. Sure thing. And then yawn. And I think as like bedtime fast approaches.
Good night, Gil.
Can't think of a name to call him, so they're just good night.
I think Luca will take one of the flowers from the bouquet and put it between some of the pages in the back of his journal.
Cute. So, some time passes. Everybody is asleep and dreaming.
No.
The camera zooms in on N's face as their eyelids flinch. We dive into the dream. Sirens blare across Sharn. This is not a drill. Heart pounding, you hurry through the streets, dodging the frightened crowds and ducking out of sight of the guards racing to Sharn's defense. The bridges between Tavik's Landing and Menthis have been sealed off to secure the city against Karnathi invaders, but that does little to stop a street rat. Well acquainted with the intricacies of the towers, you slip into narrow openings, slide down gutter pipes, and climb through vents, finding your way across the wards to the lower districts, the vulnerable districts. The first place the pirates and undead will hit when they break through the outer wards and into the inner city. You dart through a familiar web of narrow streets until finally you are drawn like a moth to a flame of colored lights you know well. Signage sparkling with magic. The gaudy display that stands as a proud beacon in the perpetual shadow of the lower districts. You approach the establishment, trying the door. It surprises you to find it locked. No signs of life. Of all the days to forget your key. You attempt to peer through a nearby window, but you're greeted only by the sight of a thick, sickly yellow smog. You squint, searching for anyone, for someone. A shambling silhouette forms in the smog. It staggers towards the glass, reaches for you. You watch in horror as corpses lurch into view. 1, 2, 5. Rotting fingertips hit the glass, clawing at you. Too late. The attackers have broke through the walls and found your heart. Only death waits for you here. So you flee. You flee the sirens, the fear, the failure, the pain. Across the bridges and up the stairs. Past the hanging laundry and away from the screams. Stumbling through a doorway, you find yourself in the safety of a small apartment. It doesn't offer much beyond its 4 walls and familiarity. Surface is bare and walls stripped of any adornments, save a clock and a few children's drawings. The kitchen is shoved into one corner, a dirty pot waiting attention in its sink, while 2 beds dressed in old quits sit parallel against opposite walls. One bed is occupied. A child sits with their legs crossed and their back to you. White hair cropped into a short bob and large ears that suit a halfling. Head bowed, the child ignores you as you enter.
I close the door behind me, quietly, instinctively quiet. I don't want to wake someone. With that same caution, I cross the room towards the child.
As you approach, you realize the child is reading a book. The words on the page are handwritten and the binding is cheap and simple. One look and you know that that's Islay's journal.
The child speaks before I can.
They were scared.
I didn't... We needed information. We needed to stop the bad people.
The child turns towards you with a frown.
You didn't have to be mean. They didn't have any friends that understood them. They made a mistake.
That got Tassie killed. That almost got Luca killed. Again. Even then, I told them I would help them. Did help them. Saved their fucking life, even when they deserved to die.
You raising your voice shocks the child, making them flinch back from you. Their eyes gloss over with a miserable sheen. Tearful and pouty, they glower up at you.
When did you get so mean?
And
Giving someone a scratch on purpose and giving them a bandage isn't nice. It's what she would do. Why are you doing this? You know what happens.
I saved them. I didn't let it happen again.
You didn't want to help. You hate them.
And then just deflates. Their anger draining out of them. And you don't.
The child is quiet for a long time. Then, tears begin to spill down their face. Head bowing, they whimper, rubbing the tears away with small fists.
Yeah. That feeling sucks, doesn't it? But the world doesn't listen to a beggar, to a little kid crying on the side of the street. You know what it does listen to? Power. Fury. That's not you, is it?
I don't know. You used to hate me for being a kid, but you never gave me the chance to grow up.
And sits down on the bedside beside the child. Waited. I'm trying. It's all I've been trying to do, but of course I keep fucking that up too. Every day since I left Sharn, all I've wanted to be is you. I reclaimed your face, tried to remember who you were, who I was, who I am, but
it hurts.
I'm so sorry, and I'm so sorry I can't protect you or anyone. Now there's blood in your hands too, and I'm sorry I'm such a piece of shit. I don't deserve to wear your face.
Stop it!
The child's little arms wrap around you, holding you tight.
I want to grow up.
No, it's better if you...
I'm scared! I don't want to go back. Please don't bury me.
Don't you get it? You are better off there. I can't promise I won't pull this again. So much has happened since you were me. I don't think I can be you. All I'll do is make your hands dirty.
I don't mind playing in the dirt. Even if it sucks and I come home all smelly. I still get to play. I still get to come home.
You won't want to come home. But, Papa... I touch at the scar on my chest, left by my rings. The mark I don't know how to define. They'd both hate me for what I've done. You can still be protected if I just...
Remember when I broke Landa's favorite teapot? It was special. They were really upset, and I was scared to tell the truth. But when they found out I was lying, they said, you can always learn from your mistakes. We still love you even when you make mistakes.
This isn't a broken teapot, En. I broke you. Their most prized possession.
I'm not broken. I'm right here. Let me stay here.
and just stare into the empty room. Heavy. Contemplating everything I am, everything I've done. But also everything I want to be, everything I haven't done yet. I'm alive. I'm still alive. But I can change. So, finally, I lean in towards N, towards the child hugging me. Put my arm around them. Hold them close.
You embrace yourself, your inner child. And with a heavy breath, like surfacing from deep water, Thale wakes up in bed. Your head aches a bit, but you did take some aspirin before you and passed out.
This is the second time I've woken up with some manner of leftover hangover, courtesy of N. In fact, I didn't want to wake up at all, so I don't know why I'm here. Oh, when Thale sits up, they are displeased with being conscious. They peer around the room, trying to figure out what woke them up.
The memories of what Audrey did today echo into your mind slowly. You remember the dream? Both your calming slumber in that laundry room and the one you just had.
Hard to know how to feel about any of it.
As you look down at the floor, thinking, words swim into vision. I woke you up again because there's somebody I think you should meet.
The Seeker?
Yes.
Fine. Thale will slide his legs out of bed and find his way across the room. He's feeling groggy and dry. Probably grabs a drink before he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Fish dog?
Well, Fish Dog's on watch.
Yeah.
Fish dog's always on watch.
Then Fish Dog will notice
Especially-
N hobbling
Yeah.
towards the door.
Fish dog will follow. Fish dog would have specifically been set up because of what you have insinuated that you are sharing tonight. It probably was sitting by your bed.
Yep, so definitely is gonna notice then. Thale sliding out of
Yeah.
bed and still probably trying to make himself look a little bit proper before he leaves the room.
Yeah. Make a stealth check.
Okay.
Straight. Good enough. You quietly creep out of the room, taking N's hotel room key with you. You head over to Seeker Elsa's room.
Yeah, Thale halts there at the door, sadly feeling his heart starting to race again. This is the first time he's actually ventured to try and speak with another living person since he woke up. And the panic is starting to bubble just a little bit under the surface.
Before you can overthink it, as if acting on a bit of a will of its own. Your hand raises and knocks on the door firmly.
Theo flinches and gasps and kind of grabs his fist and pulls it to his chest. But watches the door because that feels like more of a threat than whatever that was.
I feel the fish dog is like pendulum swinging close to your chest. I feel like it's the second you started panicking more, it started getting closer to you. As an aside.
We need this.
Oh, shit.
Theo just stands there.
There's a moment of quiet and then shuffling. You hear Seeker Elsa's voice through the door. Who is it?
Seeker Elsa, I apologize for waking you. I'm sure this is quite alarming, though I assure you, I am more afraid of you than you are of me. Might I come in a moment? I think if you see me, that will help explain this. I mean, do no harm.
As you are stammering, the latch to the door opens. Seeker Elsa peeks out and sees you and is like, "Oh, come in, come in."
Theo nods and glances behind himself before following Elsa into the room.
She is in her sleepwear, looking a little tired and dazed, but concerned, caring.
I apologize for the intrusion.
Oh, please.
You don't know me, but you do. Perhaps this is more familiar to you. Theo gestures at his eye and his cheeks.
What should I call you?
Theo is my name. I am the face slip at and wore when they worked at the theater.
Oh,
Yes, you
I
are.
see.
You are a very intelligent woman, I'm sure. You are familiar with Kai, yes? The ways in which N compartmentalizes themselves within a persona, and I believe I am the portrait of their time at the theater, a landscape of pain and fear, you might say, a frozen moment in time that N wishes to forget, and yet somehow I am here and I am speaking to you, and I don't know how to explain this.
It's nice to meet you, Thale.
The pleasure is all mine, Seeker. And Thale does a little bow, a polite bow.
Seeker Elsa takes your hand gently in hers. They are thin-skinned, soft, worn with age and time, not without their cuts and calluses, but they've been softened by a peaceful life.
I think that touch, Thale is almost hypnotized by at the moment. It connects with him, and he's looking at the hands more than Elsa now. Almost like it's the first time he's ever been touched. He's just almost stunned by the sense of warmth. And without really thinking, his other hand comes up to meet like Elsa's wrist. Kind of just hold it, hold the hand and hold the wrist and hold the person.
She gently guides you to sit down next to her on her bedside. How long have you been awake?
Only a few moments. Do you mean tonight or in general?
Well, what do you think would be more useful for me to know? You can tell me anything.
Yes, well, if Anne's journal is any indication, then that does seem to be the case. I was asleep for many years, or some thereabouts. But I've, as of... What day is it?
Well, I believe it's past midnight now, so the 28th of Javago, 998.
Right, yes, so, I believe sometime last week was when I first woke up. Since the incident, you understand.
She nods.
I've been waking up every night, but N is not aware of this, and you can't tell them, or they will. I'm not really sure what they will do, but they do not appreciate that I exist at all, really. So this has been a I don't really know how to define it. Some manner of living dream, sleepwalking, perhaps.
Sleepwalking seems like a good idea. Good way to describe this.
Yes. I'm sure this is all very
And-
confusing.
We live in a strange world. And you don't need to worry about me spilling your secrets. She sort of mimes locking her mouth and tucking away the key into a pocket.
Dale nods. His eyes are a bit big, like he can't really believe it. I appreciate that. I know Anne would be quite distraught. Dale's head
And
kinda
has
drops.
been quite distraught for some time. I think because you're awake, it means that they want to deal with that in one way or another. After all, you are the same person.
Well, yes, in theory,
Not in theory. You are the same person. Just at different times.
I'm time that's perhaps better forgotten.
It would be easier that way, wouldn't it?
The 6-0 has attempted that, but what it seems to have done instead is leave me in quite a state. It's as if I remember years of burning. Not sleep or even ceasing to exist. A perpetual pain in the back of the mind.
She nods sadly. That is what happens with such traumatic experiences, I'm afraid. You never really have time to heal from the pain until you're finished experiencing it. And that pain lingers very long.
Feels ludicrous that I even have the opportunity.
Huh. I suppose it's a blessing you should count.
A blessing.
She strokes some hair out of your face.
Perhaps you, Seeker, can tell me why I was the one who survived that night.
I'm afraid I can't. can't give you an answer that will satisfy you or assuage your guilt. I don't know why you survived.
Hmm.
Why N survived. But I'm thankful that you did.
Well, I have at least part of the picture as to why I survived.
Tell me about it,
Well,
if you want to.
this seems to be a night of admissions. I was no innocent, innocuous stagehand. I was planted there. A spy on House Fjarlin. To dig up dirty little secrets. Blackmail. When the Nothic captured me, tore open my mind and spirit, it became privy to the fact that I was little more than a rat. So they put me in a place of pride on the wings of that stage, gave me everything I wanted, forced me to watch every struggle for life, every death rattle, every dirty secret of Ilanis Ithrani di Thiaran. And they saved my death for last, because I was only there to dig up secrets. And so secrets they bestowed onto me, force-fed me, until I could feel my mind swell to the point of breaking, until terror was all I knew. When you think about it, I was there for blackmail, for secrets I might sharpen into weapons, much like the Nothic, much like all of them. Really is a harrowing comedy, the fact that my status as a spy allowed me to live. Gave me years I had no right to, not above refugees or those poverty-stricken or wounded or the hopeful and talented. Why did I live? Because they saved me. Like a treat. By that point, I was so terrified that I suppose this power awoke in me and I managed to survive.
As you speak, Seeker Elsa clings to you a little tighter.
Yeah, Theo is shaking, even though he's like trying to keep up a front of as if he's this wicked, evil thing and trying to maintain that darkness he's talking about, but he's struggling physically.
Yeah. As much as you boast of your status as someone unworthy of surviving, Seeker Elsa holds you tight, embraces you, keeps you company as you talk it through. No matter how you ended up in that situation, it was not your choice. And it was not your fault.
I think Vale just starts crying at that point, just hearing those words. And sinks into Elsa's chest, like buries his face in there.
She holds you close to her heart and whispers sweet comforts as she holds you through the tears. You've been crying a lot every time you wake up, but this time it feels different. Actually, it's been feeling different each time. Like, each time you let this embarrassing fear and pain out of you, the weight of it lessens just a little bit. You cry yourself dry and seek Elsa's arms. She wipes the tears from your face. The sock handkerchief brings you water.
Thank you.
Of course.
You won't tell the others, will you?
I promise I won't.
It's N's prerogative for this information to be shared. Perhaps the most hilarious thing of all is it was that job. It was that job that made N realize that they didn't want to do the work. They wished they were me. A simple stagehand.
Elsa gently caresses your face, bows forward and gives you a kiss on the forehead. I'm glad you escaped. I'm glad I met you.
I'm glad.
And this pain you're feeling, it won't be forever.
It's difficult to believe, but stranger things have happened. I don't want to be this forever. Afraid and weak. But nor do I want it to be a cruel lie. I want to live, and that feels like a crime. I want to live.
I believe in a world that is cruel and people that are kind. And it is because of kind people that every day the world gets a little less cruel, a little less dark, a little less cold.
Well, I don't know much, but I know Anne would very much like to be one of those kind people.
You're well on your way. And here's the secret. Being kind isn't something that you are. It's something that you do. So no matter what thoughts or fears rage in the back of your mind, no matter what pain you have endured in your past, you have the choice of how you act and what you say.
Yes. It's all an act, the world a stage. But the act is not necessarily evil in and of itself. Not when it aligns with the heart of the matter, I suppose. And Vale kind of knocks on his chest.
I think the fact that Anne is trying to be better, trying to do right by me and many others. In some ways, I'd argue that your appearance is them trying to do right by you.
Well, that hardly makes sense. They don't even know I'm here.
You're the same person. Maybe they haven't admitted it to themselves yet, but you share the same heart. You will heal beyond this. It will be difficult. You already know this. But things worth doing often are difficult and a little messy.
A smile kind of spreads on Vale's face at that. Yes. Now that I do understand.
She embraces you once again.
Vale holds her back.
Every step you make is progress. Even if it sometimes feels like you're just walking around in circles. And you can come to me as N, as Kai, as Thale, whichever face you want to wear. I still know you, and I still care for you deeply.
Thank you, Seeker. I know N cares for you as well, very much.
It's late, and I know that you haven't gotten enough sleep tonight.
Certainly not.
Shall I walk you back to your room?
Vale peers towards the door as if contemplating if he can make it on his own. And decides no, he's still kind of clinging to Elsa. He knows he doesn't want to let go of her just yet, so... If it's not too much trouble.
Of course. Let me just put on my night robe. She dresses herself a little bit more presentably than just pajamas. And holds your hand, keeping you company, giving you comfort, until you are safely returned back to your own room.
And Vale offers her another little bow. Say goodnight and farewell.
Good night. I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
I think I would like that.
She gives you a smile, then waves good night as you close the door.
Vale will slide himself back to N's bed then. Have another drink.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get some sleep for everyone in here's sake. Feeling strangely lighter. He swore he'd feel worse when he started talking about N's old work, or that he would ruin everything. Doesn't really know what got into him, but it's done, and it feels a lot lighter on his chest to have admitted it to someone.
Told you so.
know-it-all.
With a little bit of a annoyed smirk on your face, you fall asleep again. We pick back up in the morning. Breakfast in the hotel room. Seagull says, due to leave after checking out. But for now, you're having a last little catch up and breakfast.
Can I quickly add? Before
Yes.
that, can I have woken up early? Because I think Willow's
Sure.
Willow slept early, and Willow's going to have woken up early and hopefully have been alone.
Yeah, sure.
To just do some writing.
Mhm.
And not just their journal writing this time. I think they have their journal open, and then they have like a few other loose pages.
Mm-hmm.
And Fishdog might also. This Fishdog works kind of like a receipt printer, not necessarily
Yes.
a typewriter. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, Fishdog isn't overly helpful in that case, but yeah, Willow's just kind of writing. Looks like they're copying notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then, but I think when they reach the end of one of their note writings, probably when
Mhm.
someone's stirring,
Mm-hmm.
there is like a look over their shoulder. They didn't ask because N was drunk, and they also they were on a bit of a good mood, and they didn't want to get into it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not even that. It's just they didn't want to ask because it didn't occur to them to know how to ask. Hey,
Yeah.
Luca, how are you going? Hey, how was N? Did that go badly? Because they can infer a lot of it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just going to do what they set out to do, which is write everything down, give it a little look over their shoulder, and then rather than putting it on anyone's bedside or anything, they're going to pocket it for now.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine Luca wakes up first because
Yeah.
he wasn't drunk and
Did wake
Yes.
up in the
he's
middle of
waking
the
up
night.
early.
Yeah.
Someone else did,
Well, you
not
might-
that they remember it.
Yeah. Yeah. You probably just catch Willow writing. Probably in their journal by the time you wake up, unless I need to roll stealth or whatever to see if I can sneak my notes away from you.
I don't think
No.
Luca cares.
No,
Okay.
you're always writing,
No.
so
Cool.
Luca does
Wasn't
his
so much
usual
care
good
as, notice,
morning.
but
Yeah.
Hustles over to the bathroom.
Yeah, cool. He goes, good morning, slips notes into their pockets.
is it a goodbye note?
You'll never know, Luca.
No, I know.
'Cause
I
it's
don't know
not.
anything.
But yeah, breakfast and Elsa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and gets out of bed in only the most graceful fashion, I assure you.
I'm sure.
I think N is
You ever,
gonna have a coffee this morning.
you ever done that thing where you roll sort of off the bed onto your knees and then just slowly stand up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Willow will have a coffee ready for you.
Yeah. Take up
Yeah.
the Brina habit and have a coffee.
I'm spending
Mhm.
far too much time with her.
You can make a Constitution saving throw again with advantage.
Okay.
You drank enough water last night. Good that it was advantage.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
you're a little bit, you're still a bit hungover, and bright light is going to hurt, but breakfast and liquids will help. Also, you gotta piss like the devil. Is what happens when you first wake up. Is and then I need the bathroom so badly right now. I had a lot of liquid.
They better get out.
Yeah. But other than that, you feel better than you do last night.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Good job.
Yeah. And feels oddly despite the whole physical encumberment, and feels oddly light today.
Yeah.
Kind of perky when they're not dealing with waves of last night's issues.
Nice, I can notice that you're not dismal, because I would have checked to see if you
Yeah.
were like offloaded all my Snapdragon trauma. Now I'm dying, but no, you seem okay.
Yeah,
No.
and it's got this weird, even to them, it's this weird sense of like, hey, maybe things are gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, hey, handshake, bro.
So,
Nice.
what are your plans for the day?
Well, is Secret also going home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've got an appointment with Brina
Yep.
early or later this morning, was it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll be meeting up with her for that. Willow, the good detective was hoping to speak with you. Confirm
Luca
some
told me.
testimony. Oh, good. Thanks, Luca. I don't
When you were,
remember. I don't remember what
Well,
happened
that makes
last
that throat
night.
switch. Well, that makes that when you and then like makes that like throat
I-
split head tilts to the side gesture.
I don't remember what happened last night.
Oh, can't imagine what's left you
Mm.
feeling that way.
And gives Willow a
Uh,
look like, yeah, I don't remember. So we're gonna forget it happened.
Yeah. Willow's face says, "I already wrote it in my diary," but
And rolls their eyes. Anyway, any thoughts on that I
Speak-
can deliver, or?
Oh
Just-
yes, actually, in my capacity as guild, pretend the mask is on. Consideration that if there is anything memory magic related, then House Thurani might know. If you still have a Willow looks at Luca connection there, that might be useful. Though I don't know how helpful that connection is in general.
I don't understand what you mean.
The way, Farrell.
Oh, no, not him. What are you talking about? What would he do?
Oh, just House Thurani might be the ones to know about
Know
memory
about-
magic.
What?
memory magic or
Is-
magic with illusions and other such things.
Oh, right.
Willow looks at N like a little hopelessly, like, do you guys not share information? Wait, that's a demonism. Never mind.
We do. Luca's just not picking up what you're
What I'm
putting
putting down. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Luca just needs a minute.
Yeah. No. Okay. Willow just wasn't sure whether they were the. Look, Willow's going to assume that they're not communicating right, or that something is wrong.
Luca just needs things spelled out in simple, small words.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's why N is.
okay.
And this has all been said in Luca's presence. The interview was done in your presence.
Yeah.
The discussion with Rena was done in Luca's presence. So N is just reiterating, making the connections where Luca is slow to. Not that
Yeah,
Luca
that's
doesn't have
fine.
the information. N is just gently guiding the threads together.
Yeah.
Thank
Willow's just
you.
confused as well. But yes. Okay. And I intend to go shopping today, and I will be asking. Well, hopefully he's available. I can't remember if I've booked that, but nevertheless, I will be asking him some more questions about my own curiosities.
And all this before your Warfred meeting?
Well, he rescheduled yesterday. Well, it's
Oh.
up in the air. He is too grief-stricken, I think.
Yeah. And rubs at their chin and peers towards the window. Well,
In
Something
any
in your mind?
case,
No?
I'll let
Something.
Brina know that you're busy today.
Just as well, she's got a full day today.
I just met her. And and Willow are both hiding things from each other right now, and it's killing me. Anyway.
Luca, you're probably going to stay with Seeker Elsa as much as you can. Like,
Yeah.
she is supposed to go back today, but maybe you can just sneak in a little extra quality time.
Yeah,
with her.
absolutely. I'll hold down the fort. Spend time with Seeker Elsa.
You do that.
Yeah. I imagine this
Willow's-
conversation is happening like slightly before you guys go, well, or invite her over for breakfast. This is while you're like waking up and processing,
Mm.
Yeah.
discussing
Actually,
plans before
yeah,
brunch with.
Elsa.
Yeah.
Willow might mention specifically to N, like, and I imagine this is a kind of like on the move kind of statement, like near a door or
Mhm.
something. It's because
Mhm.
it's like a before you go. Regarding your questions about monsters, it's not really my area of expertise,
Uh-huh.
but I can think of somebody that you should perhaps organize with Brina to interview on that front.
And the eyes kind of slide across, like, even if there's doors or walls in the way, slides in the direction of Damon's room.
Yeah, no, I imagine we're at the door and Willow's gesturing at the door. Did Luca just say who?
Yep.
I know who.
I intend to pick their brain today. This monster hunter. But for an official capacity.
Right.
Might be useful.
Yeah, well, we'll see what today brings and what I can bring home.
Willow's going to clap N on the shoulder in a
Th-
way of like, we hugged yesterday and I don't know
I know how to process that.
what to do. So it's like that like chummy shoulder rub slap and then like continues on with what they're doing. Which is heading to brunch, I suppose. To not eat because I'm freaking cognate. Unless we have it here.
could
I
have
was
it in the
thinking-
We're having it
room.
in the room.
My room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You can eat. Elsa's not gonna let you not
No.
eat, so it has to be in the room.
I know.
So yeah. Shall we skip forward in time a little bit?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, you say your goodbyes to N and Willow at the hotel as Seeker Elsa has packed her bags and is ready to get the ferry back to salvage. She gives everybody a hug, including Willow, and lingers especially long in her hug of N.
Yeah. And kind of doesn't really know why, but they hug her tighter too.
Me.
Well, you had a hard day yesterday. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just want reassurance from Granny.
Yeah.
Willow mentions something about making time for something. Seems like they're continuing that conversation about the alarm as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. Seeker Elsa says, I'll see what I can scrounge up in terms of materials. It might be nice to add a little bit of a personal touch, you know.
Of course.
Um,
I figured we were out.
yeah.
Hmm.
She gives you all a look and says, being around you has made me remember that I miss you very dearly. I look forward to having a full house again soon.
Ah, with any luck, this will all be done and dusted in no time.
Absolutely. That's a promise.
And tips an invisible hat at Elsa.
Gil tips a literal hat.
Yeah. Elsa takes Luca's arm and the two of them head off to run their errands. And eventually say their long goodbyes.
So long. This is the
Very
first
long.
very long.
Yep. Let's follow Willow.
Wh-
You've got
and-
a lot
and
to do
is-
today.
Yeah, I need to get started like early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
En's gonna go
Anne's
meet
probably
Brina.
going to Anne's probably going to take some time to like make sure that they are a little more sobered up.
Yeah. Go for a brisk walk,
Hmm.
go over their notes for the Meraldine interview they've been lined up to attend alongside Brina. Just make sure they're ready to go and shake off this weird sense of hope because I don't trust it to have them perform well.
Yeah. Get your head in the game.
Feels weird. Can't have that. Hope.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Please.
Just a healthy dose of skepticism and apprehension.
Yeah. That's fair. It's not a nice scenario.
No.
On retrospect, I think Willow would have asked Damon if he's free this morning.
Yeah.
Or today.
He probably is.
So I think he's expecting them when they show up.
Yeah. Yep.
I wonder if I should wear my jacket today. That's okay. Yeah, Willow's going to appear to Damon and Asgil.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's ready to go.
Yep.
On site.
Yep. Think like you see him. I think he's eating breakfast downstairs, so you like passed him by as you were seeing Seagrails off.
Ah.
So he dusts off his hands and says, "We ready to go?"
If you are.
I'm ready. You got your list?
Willow nods.
All right.
Taps their head.
Let's head off then.
And I think as they begin walking, Gil starts with like a polite level of space, maybe like a whatever small talk politeness there is before the obvious question that they are waiting for, which is,
so could I ask you a question?
And then proceed
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
So many questions.
Yep. So what questions do you ask Damon on your way to the magic supply store?
Okay.
He has a few places that he knows of that are
Nice. So he's just like
leading
all of these
you there.
questions. Yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine Willow has a whole bunch of questions, but they are going to be like scattered throughout the day, like at various points, so that he doesn't get bombarded. But you know that Willow is just counting seconds between asking and another thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the first question Willow asks is they're going to bring up the Nothic again, and they'll ask, what else can you tell me about them? Like, how do you know when you meet one? Willow somewhere in Regalport, like,
So how does someone kill a Nothic or a Dalkir creature, if that is the case?
You stab it until it stops moving. Much like anything. Dalkir are weird, but when they're on this plane of existence, they die just as anything else does. As far as I know. Really not my area of expertise.
I think how do you know when you meet a Nothic is like, it looks like a horrible creature with a big ol' eye. It's small and nasty and
I already
loves
took
magical
2 of
secrets.
those. I already took 3 of those.
oh man, small and nasty and what? What was the last one?
Loves magical secrets.
Oh boy. Okay. And then like, can you say anything else about them?
I think it's like it's not a sudden change to become a Nothic. You need to do some pretty fucked up things to yourself to end up like that.
Right.
Or somebody needs to do some pretty fucked up things to you, but it's usually self-inflicted.
Right. And I think Willow's gonna ask, so he said that if you kill a Nothic on this plane, does he mean that there is he referring to like, what is he referring to?
So, it is understood. Give me a quick Arcana check.
About to say, planar bullshit is kind of my...
Your wheelhouse. Yeah, you can do this with advantage.
Ah, cheers, bro. The dice hate my guts, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So there's the general understanding that, like, if a creature, specifically like things that would be classified as fiends or celestials, creatures from outer planes, would be understood that if you bring them here and kill their physical form on the material plane, they're removed from the material plane, but they're not actually dead. They just get shunted back to where they came from.
Oh, right.
The Dalkir, it is difficult to say because a lot of that shit is not really understood.
Hmm.
It is most commonly understood that the Dalkir came from somewhere else, in a similar way to extraplanar beings.
Hmm.
But some of them seem to have become nativized.
Right.
It's hard to say. So it's like, if it's not an extraplanar being, if you kill it here, it will stay dead, presumably. But if it is an extraplanar being, what you have essentially done is severed the connection to. You have booted them from the server.
Right, yep. I think Willow will also continue to think like, okay, so stabbing is his answer, unsurprising. And they'll be like, maybe eye weak spot? Anyway, they're going to let that question drift off until it is ready to ask another question.
Okay. Well, while you are counting seconds, there are a few things that Damon can help you find. Give me an investigation check with advantage.
Damon giving me advantage?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice. So, you head to one of the nicer suppliers of magical items in the Pirate Exchange. It's actually probably like a few different places. But you can find 3 things. The common ones that you were looking for, that Damon mentioned, the tags of poison detection, also known as Politician's Friend and a variety of other euphemistic names, which is a little set of 30 paper tags magically treated to detect deadly poison in food or drink. You can buy a set of 30 little tags. They're like, I would say the size of a matchbox, and then you just like take out a strip of the paper, like a little post-it note thing, and then you
Yeah.
add your sample to it. That costs 20 gold pieces.
Mhm.
The other common item is the umpire's coin, which
Ooh.
is a small disc of iron, often worn as a badge, but you can also just pocket it. It has been magically treated so that it records whether the wearer has been targeted by a spell and when. This is particularly popular if they are... This is like common practice in like anything that requires sort of competitive sport type things.
Right, yes.
No.
So I can use it for the Wolford meeting and for a chess competition.
Yeah.
Right.
So it requires attunement. So you have to use one of your 3 possible attuned items to take this. And the magic works so that it only records the last spell used.
Right, but it does do a timestamp.
Yes. So it'll refresh each time a spell gets cast on you.
Okay. How much is that?
That is 25 gold pieces.
Not as expensive as I expected.
No. But the final thing, the thing that you asked Damon to find, or help you find, which is something to help you avoid dying, is the Periapt of Wound Closure. which also requires attunement. While you
There
wear
we
this
go.
pendant, you stabilize whenever you are dying at the start of your turn.
Huh.
It also has some additional effects, like whenever you roll a hit die to regain hit points, double the number of hit points it restores. That is much more expensive at 145 gold pieces.
$145. My lord.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, what is it? What is a? Did you say periapt?
Yes, Periapt of Wound Closure. It's a pendant.
Right. Can I? Is it the kind of thing that currently, like, if I were to look at it, can I touch it, or is it not touchable?
I think it's probably behind glass.
I imagine Willow's kind of trying to study it. One of the things that Willow like looks at anytime
Mm-hmm.
there is a gadget that they might want is
Mhm.
like, can I make this myself? I don't imagine that they know how to do that.
Not
Otherwise,
yet.
they would have already.
Yeah, not yet.
But one of the good ways to learn how to do it is to
that-
study it.
Yeah.
They're looking around the places. This is a no, that's evil. This is an establishment. This is probably a
Yes.
merchant. They aren't going to
Yes.
steal it, so they're going to look at their. You're gonna think.
I'm just gonna double check. So, fun fact. This is one of the items that you could replicate as an artificer, but only once you reach 10th level.
Well,
So-
that's ages away, so it's definitely a worthy investment.
Yep.
Oof.
Damon sees you eyeing up the price tag and says, "Need a loan?"
Willow makes a Gil makes sound and shakes their head like out of instinct. They're gonna think. They definitely. Damon might not be used to this, but I think Willow's going to do that lap around the shops while they consider a purchase.
Yeah.
It's not going to get sold out by the time I come back, right?
Probably not, no.
Yeah, I think Willow's going to. They can't buy something outright until they check out other places.
Okay.
So they're going to say to Damon,
Allow me to mull it over.
Sure.
and probably head out. Yeah, I can come back and get it all in one hit if there's nothing else anywhere else. Yeah,
Mhm.
nothing else. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Willow's probably going to thank the shopkeeper and then on the way out ask Damon another question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing with the energy of and another thing. Can I start asking questions?
Sure.
Okay. I think Willow's gonna jump to.
Are you aware of any monsters that can disguise themselves as human?
Oh, there's loads of that.
Insistent look. Give me a list.
Oh, off the top of my head. Most fiends, hags. He starts rattling off this long list. Shapeshifters, lycanthropes, dragons,
Shapeshifter.
obviously.
What's a shapeshifter?
It's a category of monster.
Is their purpose to shapeshift?
Yeah.
That's it. It's not like a ability that a monster has. It's like
It's
I am
an ability
shapeshifter.
that a monster. It's ability that a monster has, or shape changer, I guess is the technical term. But they're not usually related to each other. They are grouped together under the category of shape changer in the fact that they can change shape. Which is, I know, very, very elaborate and confusing. But yeah, there's lots of creatures and monsters out there that can change their shape to appear as just a regular humanoid. Other shape changers can't assume humanoid form, but do still change their shape. For example, mimics are shape changers, but they can't assume human form.
They can't?
Anyway, it's...
Yeah,
No. They
Willow's
tend
gonna
to mimic
specify, like-
objects.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
The list
So
is too long to be useful.
Right. So there's nothing I can, like, point out specifically.
Make an intelligence check. Just straight.
Ooh. Anything catch my
Okay.
ear?
Good question. Good question.
Brain too big.
I think Damon adds like a subclause that like some monsters can change shape to assume humanoid form as like a learned ability.
So they learn to turn into people.
Yes. Or else it's more that there are, I guess the monster that assumes humanoid form is a humanoid that is becoming monstrous.
But he doesn't have any indication of like what that might be, just that it is plausible. So I guess that's
Yes.
more of a tick next to a conclusion rather
Yes.
than a lead. So the high intelligence is Willow's confidence on that point that they were making, because you guys are I've written
Yeah.
out like thought processes that Zeke is aware
Yeah.
of. So
Yeah.
can I interpret that intelligence roll as I can confidently say that there is a likelihood of either a person turned monster or a monster turned person?
Yep.
Shit. Okay. But I don't know what kind.
No.
Okay.
Cool. So do we want to continue with Willow, or shall we cut to somebody else in the meantime? Because this shopping trip is likely going to take Willow all day.
Yeah. We can cut probably. I have like 4 more questions and I don't know whether to do them now or after.
Oh, disperse them.
Okay.
Let's go see Audrey,
Brina!
who is going to meet up with Brina at the Madani office a little bit before her
Yeah.
their appointment.
Yep, so after checking the mailbox, and the mailbox, which has been the routine for the last few days, they'll head up to Brina's office, bright-eyed
Yeah.
and bushy-tailed, and definitely no hangover left, for real.
Yep.
But it sure was the journey to get here.
Yep. Cool. Good. You enter the office.
Yeah, say good morning
Celia
to
greets
Celia.
you. Yeah. All good.
Great, nobody's dead? Awesome.
Nope. Brina is in the office. Oh, great. You're here.
Good morning.
Morning. Guess it's almost noon. I just got finished up with Captain Fayruz.
Oh, excellent.
I've got the testimony here if you want to read over it.
Oh, absolutely.
I will
Yes.
bring this up.
Oh,
So
boy.
scroll down past
all the other testimonies.
Oh, yes.
Into further follow-up testimonies.
Awesome.
We have
Oh my
more
God.
notes
Bro,
from Brina.
Yay! All right. How should we go through these?
shall we all take turns reading bits or what?
Sure, I'm down with that. Who wants to start? Because I think Zeke will probably do the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You two can go.
sure.
I'm just happy to sit and listen.
Do you want to?
Oh,
do you want to
boy.
read the oral or the memorial? Man.
I'll read this. You could be Latila, maybe. Oh, no. Zeke knows this. Okay. I will go the first one. All right. Further follow-up testimonies. Notes from the memorial, 27th Dravago. Persons killed in the attack. This hasn't been read yet?
I haven't read it. No.
Okay. Cool. Sorry. Persons killed in the attack were likely in part compromised by Emerald Claw operatives, though unknowingly. Others who accepted bribes are in the process of being smoked out by audit. Not my department, but I'll get the details later. Found the person responsible for setting off the stinking cloud scroll in the auction hall. They were being blackmailed and were unaware of the consequences. No further follow-up needed, in my opinion. We already know who is really to blame, and they're not in Regalport anymore. Okay. Some tension remains between sea dragons and Thorani. Though it's well concealed from the public. Guess Captain Frostroot or Thorani or whatever had some pretty good incentives for the gossip rags not to talk about it. Oh, sick. All right.
Yeah,
Wrong time.
I think Audrey kind of relaxes a bit at the section about the blackmailed auction worker. And we'll continue to the next bit. Notes from the interview with crossed out Arl, an anonymous benefactor.
Oh, it went past midnight.
Was there ever any doubt?
Oh no, poor Brina.
Timeline of planning for the heist has been resolved as best it can without directly interviewing the culprits. Details omitted for brevity. Investigator Brina Madani concludes that House Thorani was in no way involved in the conspiracies or actions leading to the events at the Grand Auction Hall on the 18th of Dravago. Any and all legal action resulting from the event will reflect this non-involvement. Investigator Brina Madani concludes that there is no definitive or circumstantial evidence that indicates that Mr. Arl de Thorani had an opportunity or motive to harm Mr. Tarek Elham in any way. He is no longer a person of interest in this case. Copy of the above statement signed and given to the Thorani lawyers. Hopefully that ties up the loose ends.
Please, God, please tie up the loose end.
Please never come back.
Oh. Brina dissociating while she writes Investigator Brina Madani, also known as me. Oh, poor thing. Unless Celia writes these.
Celia was not there to write that.
Yeah. This is Brina.
Oh, this is
At the
written in the
time.
moment. Poor thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm rattling out my skin at the moment. There's so many things. One line severed.
Mm-hmm. So, Audrey, do you discuss the notes with Brina at all in between, or are you going to read through all of them first?
I might as well read through all of them. Just get a full picture.
Okay.
I don't think there's much that I can think to say because a lot of this is about the theft, which seems to be getting tied up. So nothing immediately comes to mind to say.
Okay. So, following up is the interview between Brina Madani and Captain Latila Feiruz, the Sea Dragon captain of the Winter's Blade, 28th of Dravago. This happened, probably a couple hours ago at most. Probably finished up, an hour or 90 minutes ago.
Wow.
Ish. Thanks for taking the time, Captain. I know you're very busy, so I'll try and make this quick. Certainly. I'd just like to ask you a few questions about what you knew about Mr. Allen. You know, what was he like in life and such? I didn't know him very well, other than as Meryldine's lover. We met a few times at parties and such, and he was generally quite eloquent, I suppose, though very serious and driven when it came to the subjects near and dear to his heart. He had a very special kind of camaraderie with Meryldine. They both had an incredible sense of ambition. Do you know anything more about the relationship between those two?
Mr. Elham and Captain Frostroot, how did they meet? Just for background information. Yes, yes. I believe they had been together for about 2-ish years? Perhaps a little less. I don't know the full details. Myrildine is not much for being sentimental in public, so I'm a bit vague on the exact details. I think they first met each other in the town of Seaside before Myrildine was a captain. She was a merchant back then. Quite the entrepreneur, actually. And then they met again some years after, I think around the time the treaty was being signed, or a bit after that. Definitely after her captaincy. She apparently found him performing poetry in a pub and saw his potential. It was apparently her doing that got him his in with House Thurani. She was so proud to show him off to us after the debut of his opera. They got along very well, the two of them. I think Myrildine started it as a business venture and then it got a little more entangled than she bargained for. Oh, don't tell her I said that. Everything here is strictly confidential. Don't worry. I'll have it struck from the record. Yes, well.
Bring us so much. Oh, anyway.
As I heard it, Tarek became enchanted with her, and it went from purely business to a mix of business and pleasure. But Myrldine's pride is second to none. She might not have admitted it in words, but I do believe she genuinely was in love with him. Sounds like it was a bit of a whirlwind romance. Did she ever complain about any troubles with him? Arguments and such, you know? Not that I can recall. Perhaps a bit of grumbling now and then, but nothing ever serious. They lived apart and were both very career-oriented. It wasn't as if they weren't affectionate towards each other, but neither of them expected wholehearted devotion from the other. Perhaps to an outside perspective, that would make their relationship seem cold? I think they both understood that their romance would always be second to their personal goals. Huh. How about that? Would you say you're close friends with Captain Frostroot? I would say so, yes. We've been friends since Myrildine won her ship, which is to say, when I first met her. That was, about 3 years ago, I think? Yes, 3 years this summer. You looked after her that night at the gallery. Has there been anything unusual about her behavior since then? That's hard to say. It's rare for her to be overly emotional in public, so that initial outburst was... No, I don't think there has been anything that unusual about her behavior lately, considering the circumstances. She's handling her grief as best she can while being a public figure. Yeah, it must be a tough position for her. Incredibly. I'm worried she's going to break herself trying to keep control. She's been working very hard to arrange for his medical care. I don't think she'll be able to relax until this is concluded one way or another. For sure. Me and my team are doing the best we can. My best to get this case solved, too. I'm sure having answers will give Captain Frostroot one less thing to worry about. Yes. How is that going? I can't say too much, but pretty well, I think. Would be doing better if I'd been able to talk to Captain Frostroot sooner, but I understand she's a busy woman and it's not easy to talk about these things. Yes, I imagine if you weren't on the case, Myrildine would be helming the investigation herself. Interview ends. Notes. Captain Latila Ferouz, F-43, Regalport Greentown. Initially provided alibi/statement for Captain Frostroot on the night of the incident due to Frostroot being unable to reasonably provide testimony at the time. Captain Ferouz has not contradicted any of her own statements. Reputation as reliable, not prone to exaggeration, understands nuance. Good for me. Then you can see the list of notes of questions Brina has written down to ask.
Well,
During that interview.
that is enlightening.
What's your take on all of this?
Well, it seems to add up with what I've observed from Meraldine. So Audrey's kind of pausing at one particular statement from Latila.
Bruna sort of gives you a moment to think and says, anything else catch your eye?
I might have to read over it a couple times.
Oh, that's fine. We've got a little time yet before we're supposed to make our appointment.
Good, good. Did we manage to get that in her apartment? Or Tarek's apartment, excuse me.
Yeah, we'll be meeting her there at the premises.
Good, good. Yes, well, this, according to Latila, they didn't live together, which does answer one of my questions, though. I might still ask it of Meraldine herself, you never know.
Mm-hmm. What question would that be?
Just how frequently they stayed in that apartment together. How much she might have seen.
Probably a good question. Might be worth asking who else had access to that apartment.
Exactly. That would be where I'd go from there. Try to figure out who had access. Though, there is one obvious person that did have access to Tarek long term. Just don't know where exactly.
Right, the pater.
Hmm.
Speaking of, I've been avoiding making any additional overtures towards him. I figure the more evidence we can stack up ourselves without letting any likely suspects know that we suspect them, the better.
Yes, I agree. The only problem there might be Meraldine could get ahead of us on that front.
That is concerning.
Yes, I have reason to believe, because you might have noted in the scribe of the ritual, Luca did happen to mention that we had a certain suspicion towards the painter, and I have reason to believe that Meraldine, would take that into her own hands, given the right opportunity.
Well, let's hope she hasn't had enough time to storm the gates, then.
Well, he was at the memorial, so assuming she didn't pull an Arl with much more vicious intent, ideally.
No, as I understand, she was, in the company of Captain Feyruz last night.
Alright, well. Audrey, has a moment, assuming there wasn't a second Kai situation involved in that. Face journey.
What do you mean by that?
As in, did Meraldine have a body double stay with Latila and then go try to murder Warfred? Yes, well, you see, because I believe she is likely to take this into her own hands, it might be prudent that we attempt to curb that. We could get her on our side with our plans to confront the potential killer instead of blowing it out of the water too soon. It might be better for everyone.
I don't disagree there. Well, in that case, maybe we should, arrive at the appointment a little bit early.
Might be a good idea.
Yep. Let's go.
Yeah. Thinking Audrey might remove her eye patch.
Oh.
Yeah, because Meraldine has met someone with an eye patch that's been hounding her.
Fine.
So Audrey might just, while they're in the office, just as casually as could be, take off her eye patch and pocket it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty lady!
It's I think Brina does a little. Huh. It's kind of odd seeing you with two eyes.
I can imagine. It feels funny. I'd say better to find evidence at the apartment with, yes?
Guess so. And we'll cut that scene there. Let's go look after what Luca's up to.
Me! Spending time with my
Yes.
nan, my lovely secret Elsa.
How much do you dawdle?
As much as humanly possible, but not enough that she would miss a ferry. I think Luca would feel bad making her miss the ferry. So, yeah.
You say your long goodbyes at the dock, hugging and waving until the last possible moment.
Yeah. Luca wants to take her bags up for her, but that might be a bit troublesome.
Yeah.
So he's like picking it
It's-
up and putting it back down, and
It's only an overnight bag, so it's not that big.
still, yeah.
You hop off the ferry as the bell sounds. Wave Secret Elsa goodbye. And then you are left to your own devices for a bit.
Hmm.
Give me a perception check.
Oh.
Oh.
Um. Cool. Give me a deception check as you.
Oh,
Okay.
Disgrace.
You spot out of the corner of your eye the small figure of one Alonzo Reedfoot,
Oh.
Yeah.
who notices you notice him and then approaches you with a hard stare.
Prolonged eye contact. Prolonged eye contact.
Yeah.
Oh my.
It's like, hey. Is he coming towards me? Like,
Yes.
then I'll just like stand casually, incline my head towards him, like, yes.
I don't believe we have been formally introduced,
No.
but I have seen your face around quite a few times of late.
Luca nods, like, yeah. I tend to get around.
I'm Alonzo Reedfoot. Your name?
My name.
I forgot it.
Yeah.
Wait, your
Fuck.
name? It was your
Yeah.
other name, the name you lied with ages ago? Are you still lying? Because it was Hubert something.
Yeah.
Are you still lying? At this rate?
I have no idea. Quick, what should I do?
Group huddle. Hi
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Luca,
Is it worth lying?
in a
anymore?
in a mind, and then Willow, what do I do? You guys are the criminals, what do I do?
Y'all are rolled a 7 deception, man. I'm not sure how much hope you have.
Yeah.
I feel like you're so high. Like no, you're kind of leaning into the high profile thing at this stage.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
him from High
advice.
Prince Ryger.
Yeah.
The advice Willow gave you was because you failed to deceive him in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
So
I
my
mean-
inclination is to just give your name
Yeah, just tell the truth.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
You just saw Secret Ulcer off, so if you're in danger, you're already in the thick of it.
Yeah. Okay. Luca will
Maybe don't trust.
Luca will incline his head slightly and say, Luca, Khan-san, but that is all I have.
You have been busy of late. I have seen you in several places.
You've been keeping an eye out for me?
I am very good at remembering faces.
Ah.
It pleases me to finally have a name to put to yours. Tell me, what is it that you do, professionally speaking?
I am a nurse.
How curious. Because I have seen you be a bodyguard, a mourner, an escort, and a detective's assistant.
Do people need to be one thing?
I was merely curious as to what you would title yourself, considering how busy you have been.
Shrugs casually. My passion is helping people, so that is where I place myself.
Interesting.
And you are a...
Butler.
Luca nods.
Though obviously I have a life of my own outside of my services.
Of course. Is there a reason you approached me?
Well, I figured it was about time we introduced each other.
Well,
It is
it's a pleasure.
somewhat awkward to repeatedly encounter the same face without ever acknowledging one's existence.
Well, I would hate for you to feel awkward.
Indeed. You say you are a nurse, but previously I saw that you were under the employ of a Sir Damon Ir Ardantego.
Correct.
Are you still under his employ?
To an extent. Our contract is flexible.
I see. I don't suppose you would be able to get in contact with him
Yes?
on behalf of someone else?
Yes?
Good to know. And where might I contact you?
Well, I'm here now.
And where will you be later?
Just give him the gold dragon address.
Yes.
I've been giving everyone Damon's address. Wolford got given Damon's address. He doesn't know that yet. I'll tell him later.
I am staying at the Gold Dragon in Realport.
Okay, you tell him which one.
Yeah.
Good to know. I must say, are you intent on staying at the service of Mr. Ardantego? How much do you know about your employer?
Probably nothing, but... Luca shrugs slightly. Don't
Well.
always need to know everything to have a short-term contract with someone.
I would advise you keep that contract short then. He has a reputation for losing servants.
What the fuck does that mean?
All this bitch is dead.
Probably had a crew and they all died, or continued to try and accumulate a crew when they continued to die.
Was the dragon wouldn't even get its teeth around you? Flashback to all of Damon's.
Well, he's had plenty of practice. You know what they say, failure is a great teacher.
Yeah. Oh my.
Is that why you came over to me, to offer me friendly warning?
In part. At any rate, I had best attend to my own errands. He inclines his head towards you. A pleasant day, Luca Carnson.
Can I, like, check him to see what his vibe is?
Yeah.
Is this him? What am I doing?
Every check you possibly can.
Yeah, every check.
My eyes are so open right
I am eating my fists at the moment, man. Like.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh boy.
Can I make an inside check as well?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Fuck.
That's not bad.
It's not good.
No. An 11 and a 7. Well, he's not an illusion because he's casting a shadow and you can hear his footsteps on the cobblestones as he leaves, but you are very puzzled.
So very puzzled.
On an 11 insight, he is implying something about Damon. Something bad.
Yeah,
We
but I'm
don't
too
know
stupid to know
what.
what.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Just retain everything he said and bring it back to me later.
Yeah.
Was he wearing
You?
a pin?
Us. Oh
Not
yeah,
that
check.
you could see.
Damn
Oh
it.
yeah, shit. You can't. On a 7-person. Oh my gosh.
What way is he walking? What direction is he vibing away?
Towards the city,
Oh, me too.
but in a different direction from you.
Damn it. I don't have anything to do today.
Well, I'm changing direction then, I guess.
Don't follow him.
No.
We don't know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
Shit. Luca standing there on the docks just watching after Alonso has such a nice vibe. Confused, vaguely confused with a threat to Damon.
Yeah.
Why does everyone have to be so threatening? Why can't people just be nice?
Well, no, a threat. Apparently, Damon's a threat to us.
Oh,
Is this like a?
It's not news.
We did kind of know this.
Oh, but he has a reputation.
Apparently.
Everyone has a
Apparently.
reputation. That's nothing special.
Luca having this argument
With himself all the time.
as
Yeah,
he is like tottering about.
Little sock puppets in your mind that wear like sunglasses and white hair that represent our voices.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
He's talking to his sock puppets.
God, honestly, I can see a transition from like that look that Luke is giving to Damon.
Mm-hmm.
If this was a show, but of course,
Yeah.
let's see if he has anything else to do before
Yep,
I
I
cut
think-
away.
No.
I think we can cut away to Damon.
Mm.
Where are we at?
I think. Can I ask him another question? Because then
Yeah.
it'll open on that. Okay. Because then camera on Damon, but
Mm-hmm.
Another question.
What is it this time?
Other than dragons, what other monsters are capable of evoking fear?
Damon does a little and starts another long list.
is this the list
lots
that
of
sounds like
undead?
it'll be helpful?
I don't know.
Because I think Willow might try and refine the output then, because this is if this
Okay.
is going to be a long list and he looks like he's going, oh, okay, well, raindrops on roses and like that kind of feel.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
Willow's going to say,
Perhaps I could specify. Are there monsters that feed on fear?
Huh. That's a much more specific question. Let me think. Damon scrunches his face. No. Not that I know. David rolled a nat 1.
I started laughing because Zeke sent it in the Discord, so I went and checked because we only talk if there's like a technical difficulty. So the thing lined up, I went and I just saw a big fat red 1 sitting there in response to my question. Damon. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. He's okay. It's confusion. He doesn't know. Alright.
Nope.
He's trying.
That's fine. I think from that Willow's kind of going to like I imagine like passing by food area and Willow's going to say like a little deflated because they see that Damon doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the monsters that can.
You had Cognate on and now you just shut it off.
Oh, that's me.
Oh wait, well, what did I say?
Fuck, I'm all fucked up. What was I saying? Oh yeah, we're walking past food area.
Yes.
Willow's going to say, I don't know how long I was cognate, sorry.
The entire time.
Oh shit. Sorry.
It was very funny.
It was.
Oh, okay.
That's why we didn't interject.
We are talking about the nat 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. My bad. Okay, well, yes. Walking through the food area, Willow's a bit deflated and they're going to say to him then, like, a bit of a dumb thought that they're going to tack on.
Are there any monsters that, I don't know, eat eyeballs specifically?
Huh. I don't know.
You don't?
Damon racks his brain again. Not specifically. I know some that eat brains and hearts, sometimes livers, but eyes. I guess birds?
No, that's not what I mean.
Well, sorry I don't have my encyclopedia on me right now.
You have one?
Not one that you're allowed to borrow.
Willow, like, sharply looked at him. Like, book? I could read book. And then they'll probably ask,
Well, where can I get an encyclopedia of my own then?
Damon sort of shrugs and gestures at the nearest bookshop.
actually, though? Do I not have any monster books? Is this an empty spot on my shelf?
No, I imagine... actually, I don't know. I think you probably have a monster book, but it's not been your priority. It's probably like a relatively basic one. That's like...
Can I...
useful monsters for alchemical and artificing purposes.
Yeah, I actually think... Because Willow stored all of their books in their bag of holding. I kind of figured Willow's going to stop to like a dead stop and then like...
Rummage
and pull a book out, and it's probably going to like really strain their bloody pockets. They're like really... as they like wrench it out. And they're going to like hand it to Damon as a sort of, is this helpful or should I get a better book? Quietly kind of look.
Damon gives it a look over and says,
Yeah, this looks a little bit, this is more beginner friendly.
Okay. Willow's going to nod and then like veer off course and go into the bookstore with like a little pull at Damon's sleeve to follow, like a tap on his sleeve.
Yeah, he
They're going to
follows.
get his his insights on what book to buy then. If he's going to gatekeep his books, then Willow will get their own.
Okay. Make an investigation check with advantage.
Thank you. Investigation check with advantage. Okay. Hey.
Hey, double 23.
Both
Look at
eyes
you.
open. Wow, book nerds getting books.
Mhm.
You knew.
Okay. It takes some doing, but eventually you find a tome,
Mm.
newly published,
Ooh.
which is, I imagine, something like the Vidalis Guide to Exotic Creatures.
Nice.
Which is a niche but beautifully illustrated bestiary of all kinds of creatures across Corvair.
Oh, nice.
That was published by House Vidalis, which is the dragon-marked house of the Mark of Handling. They specialize in beasts.
Perfect.
And Damon says, yeah, this looks about as good as you'll get around here. Other than, actual Vidalis enclaves themselves.
I think
Or
Willow's going to flip
whatever
to...
den of monster hunters you can find.
Willow's going to flip to the glossary and like have a quick look to see if there's anything at a glance about Dalkia or Nothix or anything. You know how sometimes books have like a number of pages dedicated to something, or just one, or not at all.
The
I
glossary,
think
the index.
What's it called? Index.
Index, yes. So there probably is also a glossary of like common terms and monster stuff and how to define them. I don't think there's anything on Dalkir specifically. However, there are probably ones on aberrations. Let's see.
Willow is squatting in the back of a bookstore somewhere.
Yeah.
With this book like laid out on their legs.
It does look like there is a treatise on the aberrations found beneath the Moor Holds. Most common ones found by delvers into the realms below, that sort of thing. Looks promising.
Okay, there's a little sheen of light across Willow's eyes. They're robot eyes, implying the sheen of intrigue across their glasses. And they are definitely going to get this book. How much is it?
Ooh, good question. I'll roll. It is hardcover, color print.
Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. I can feel them.
And definitely and it's like probably about 500 pages.
Oh god.
So it's
Yeah.
a real door stopper, and it's heavy. The price tag is a full 80 gold.
I imagine Willow's plopped it on the counter, and they get the price then. Like they didn't check it beforehand. They just had that. Yes, I need this. They put it on the counter, and it's like 80, and Willow's like. They can't make this at home. And Willow's going to probably look at Damon, little quick aside to him, and say,
You don't have this book?
Looks like it was published this year, so no.
Willow's going to dish out for a book. Yep, okay. Willow's going to start counting out their gold.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Yep.
Well, add a 2-pound Vidalis. What did I call it? Guide to exotic creatures.
Guide to exotic creatures. Yep.
Cool. I will say that you can spend an hour to gain advantage on Arcana or History checks of strange monsters.
Oh, perfect. That's good
I'm gonna
need that.
say
to live.
yes. I'm gonna say monsters of, let's say, challenge rating 8 and lower.
I'll write that down. I don't know what it means. Would you say, sorry, advantage on checks for monsters?
Advantage on Arcana checks for monsters of challenge rating 8 or lower.
Just Arcana?
Arcana or History or Nature checks. Information
Arcana.
checks.
History, Nature. Well, this is at least on the VOD, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. No, that's good. I'll go study that when I get home.
Yeah.
I have to carry it now.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It is not going to fit in your pockets.
Yeah, no, I'll just hold it. They can give me a tote bag or something, right?
Yeah, they ask if they give you a free bag with your purchase.
Well, I will say thank you. And to hobble out of the store with like a new weight on one side of their
Yeah.
body.
Yep. It is only a kilo of book, but that's still a kilo of book.
Yeah.
That's more than most of my cats weigh.
Willow was holding more than a cat.
Worth of knowledge.
I think Willow feels a little bit bolstered. They didn't want to like pay that much, but it is what it is. How many pounds was it again? I forgot. I
It's
didn't add
2
that. I'll
pounds.
add it later.
2.
2 pounds? Yep.
Yeah.
And I think with that, Willow's going to say to Damon,
Well, we'll stop then.
All right. Where are you headed?
I wasn't sure if we wanted to cut away or cut back, or should we just go there now?
I think let's go there now because
Okay, because the rest is going to be a certain tone, I imagine.
yeah.
Imagine it cuts to us out the front of Malachi's.
Yeah. We return once more.
Yeah.
Backward
It
off
all
again.
began. Yeah. I imagine Willow, like, they stop outside, both of them are looking up at the sign and then, like, look at each other.
I think Damon like rubs his nose and tries to hide a laugh as you stand outside of Malachi's magical miscellany, new and used magic items for reasonable prices.
Yeah, okay, no, Willow's not going to look at him. Willow's going to look at him just to eye roll. I'm going to do a perception check real quick to see if anyone's around, because it's just... I wouldn't... Let's just see. Why? For the meme? For the bits? Fine. No, No, it's good. I need to know that freaking Warfred's
It's
not
good.
following me.
Yes, you are unfollowed. You are safely in the shadow of Damon Ir Ardantego and have not spotted hide nor hair of your current nemesis, I guess.
Don't call him my nemesis.
Your current
Issue.
yeah,
Problem.
sure. You have not spotted hide nor hair of anybody who would wish you ill will
Okay, well then I think
over
Willow's
this
going
entire shopping trip, so you feel pretty confident that you can step into Melanchi's.
Good. Well, Willow's going to see that Damon's having a little chuckle there, mate, and take their mask off at the same time as they walk into the shop with the little ding-a-ling of the doorbell.
Yeah. You walk in, and Damon does a little and follows in behind you. Malachi's is the same as always, which is to say it is claustrophobic in its clutter. Walls lined with shelves, cabinets bursting with knickknacks, gizmos, and thingamabobs. He's had a restock recently, and some of the inventory has changed around, but it is the same sort of texture of clutter. You hear a excited little "Oh!" as he perks up at the sound of the bell ringing, and then a little "Eh!" as he spots the looming shadow of Damon in the doorway behind you. Malachi sort of scrambles and tries to position the no liability sign that he had installed after you told him.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot about that. Not the liability sign. I forgot that I told him that Damon was in danger because of the thing he sold him. Whoops.
Damon does a little raised hand gesture of like, "Hi there," in the background. Malachi is like bug-eyed. His bug-eyed behind his glasses, peeking over the counter.
Malachi, he's not here to have problems.
You're not? Damon
You're
shakes
not,
his head.
Right, no, we're here to shop. Good old-fashioned way.
Oh, well, in that case, come on in. We've had some new stuff. It's been a while since I've seen you, Willow. We've had some new stuff in lately. How are you? Just like...
Yeah, I feel like Willow doesn't have to even respond. Does he just keep talking?
Yeah, just like a...
Yeah. Oh, is he waiting for a response though?
I mean, whatever you'll give him.
Willow will just give a like a little shoulder shrug.
What you looking for?
What I found in the other places, but possibly different or cheaper, or anything else that catches my eye. This is the kind of place that Willow comes to
get inspired.
Actually, Willow, you know what? Yeah, also Willow might say to him, if I'm being honest, I may be in a little bit of danger, so I am here to look for some gadgets.
Oh, well, let's see what we can find you. I've got my usual stock. So the usual mess of novelty items is on display at Malachi's. But give me an investigation check. Damon cannot help you here.
This is my wheelhouse.
Yes.
My shithole. Investigation check. Can Fish Dog help me?
Yeah, if you want to bring Fish Dog out, yeah.
Yeah, I'll float Fish Dog out. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but I can't remember.
I don't either.
Damn.
Good. Okay, so you are looking for an umpire's coin,
Mhm.
tags of poison detection, and I'm afraid there is no periaptive wound closure here, but you might find something else that's at least useful in some way or another. You find a mostly used set of poison detection tags. Roll me a d10. There are 5 left.
Okay. How much is that?
Probably like 3.5 gold or 35 silver.
Okay.
So sharply discounted.
Yeah. To be fair, also sharply less in quantity.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'll say you can find a dinged up umpire's coin. It's a little bit rusty, so but should still work. That you can find for, let's see. Uh-huh. Let's say you can find it for 20 gold pieces, so discounted by 5.
Okay. It still works the same?
Yeah, still works the same, it's just scuffed and ugly.
Okay.
As for the other magical items that you might find, so, you find a bunch of useless or weird stuff. One is a jewel-like beetle in a potion bottle that is labeled Feast Bug.
Feast bug?
Yeah.
What does it do?
If you eat it, you regain some hit points, and it removes 1 level of exhaustion. Hold on.
Is it actually a bug?
Yeah, it's actually a bug. It's a full beetle.
Oh.
And considering the number of times you have garnered a point of exhaustion.
This is why I asked if it is an actual bug, because I want to see how willing I am to eat it.
The other thing you find is also a Ring of the Goat, which is allows you to consume virtually any organic matter, such as grass, leaves, twigs, linen, leather, etc., and find it as tasty and sustaining as normal food.
Or a bug. These come as a combo like Amazon deal.
Frequently purchased
bought
together. Oh my gosh.
My first thought was that Luca would buy the bug to keep it as a friend, but
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
a bug
that's
for
in
eating. You also find a potion of potion resistance.
Okay.
When you drink
And
this
I
potion,
assume
you
that-
gain resistance to other potions.
Okay, that's
I mean,
not bad.
So for the next
This
hour,
poison's
any
going around.
quantitative effects of other potions you drink are halved.
That's not bad, considering
Yeah.
I am in the realm of poisonous. and I think it would just annoy Warfred if I took a big chug of poison and didn't die. I think that'd be so funny, actually. How much are all of these things? Because they all sound very funny. Are there more to find, by the way? Feel free to keep listening.
Yeah.
And then I'll ask costs.
There's a shell of endless salt.
I found that. Duncan had it.
Yeah, it's a small snail shell that you can shake and then sea salt falls out of it.
That's handy in general. I think Willow might hand that one to Damon. That goes, isn't that good? Isn't that a good thing to have? But then keep rummaging.
Yeah. I should have been copying these down. Sorry, I'm literally going through like a weird magic item generator.
Oh, I'm writing them down.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Cool bit, but I didn't have the descriptions, so I'll have to just keep clicking until I find more of them. Scroll of Cacophony. While reading the scroll, which requires an action every turn, every creature and object within a 20-foot radius is magically compelled to speak.
Oh my gosh.
Creatures and objects speak whether or not they are normally able to do so, but many may attempt to resist the effect with a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw. The effect lasts for as long as you continue reading, up to 10 minutes.
God. I want to do that one around Raga. I just feel like it'd be annoying. But,
Good for a distraction, though.
yeah, it is.
But in terms of, like, actually useful magic items... Let's see.
While Zeke is considering, I would just like to point out that I just made a tiny jeweled beetle out of beads, and I find that very, very topical. It is,
Yeah.
it is edible sized. It's like just a little guy. I could eat it and possibly pass it without issue.
Please
Rom,
don't.
say the line. Say the line, Rom.
Anything is edible once.
Yay! Yay!
Okay, I think I found something.
Okay.
You have... I think, what was it that you previously found here when you were looking? Was either Eyes of the Eagle or Eyes of Minute Seeing?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ages ago.
Ages ago. So there's that again. Has not been bought yet.
That lets you see
There is
little things?
also... Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was Eyes of the Eagle or Eyes of Minute Seeing that I showed you, so pick one.
Do they both do the same thing?
No, they do different things.
Oh. What do they... What's the difference?
Well, one is for up close and one is for far away.
Right, that makes sense, yep. Okay.
The other thing you find is a little packet labeled Dust of Disappearance.
Ooh.
There is enough of it for one use. When you use an action to throw the dust into the air, you and each creature and object within 10 feet of you becomes invisible for 2d4 minutes.
That's what Penumbra used back in her Stratathon.
Aw, cute. Alright.
So, very limited invisibility is the
Yeah.
other useful thing you find that is not strange.
Yes. Well, may I ask for costs on these things?
Let me have a
Like
gander.
not all of them. I'll tell you which ones.
Yeah. So, random. They are somewhat randomly priced, but generally, the price ranges between about 50 and, let's say, 200 gold pieces. Yeah.
My lord.
These are the high-end shelf stuff. The consumables, I will say, tend to be about half that price.
Okay, so by the way, I think Willow just like handed Damon the book bag. While they could, I imagine they're comfortable enough here to just kind of climb.
Yeah, you are
where needed.
You are easily like scrolling your way around. Damon is mostly hanging out at the door where there is the most space and just kind of watching while leaned up against the wall.
Yeah. Like a weird staring competition between like Malachi and Damon for a sec. Not staring competition, but just Malachi like staring. You're not gonna explode, eh?
Yeah.
All right. I am curious about the cost of the jewel beetle.
Mm-hmm.
The potion of potion resistance. The ring of goat sounds fun, but I don't know when I'll need it.
Mm-hmm.
And the dust of disappearance, I guess. Eyes of the eagle is also handy because that's like a spyglass, but to the maximum, like a telescope.
So.
Or a microscope.
Yeah, let's say the feast bug costs 20 gold pieces.
My lord.
What was the next thing?
Potion of potion resistance.
That will probably be about 15 gold.
So this is either a telescope or a microscope, basically. Yeah.
Yes. You tell me which you would prefer to have, which you would prefer it to be.
I mean, didn't I have a telescope? Oh, no, it was a spyglass. I gave it back to Varys. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's more thematic to get Eye of the Eagle, to at least look at the cost of it.
Okay. So the Eyes of the Eagle are 160.
Wow. Actually, oh fuck, but wait, I am going to be doing close quarters tinkering real soon. Could the Eyes of Minute help with that? What does it do?
No. The Eyes of Minute gives you advantage on investigation checks to look at small things. At things up close. It's a magnifying glass.
Oh, okay. Just when I look at the
I think it was Eyes of the Eagle that
Eagle. Yeah, it would make sense. Was that 145 you said?
160.
Oh. Are you sure?
Yes.
Damn, I swear I heard 98 actually. Okay. With that in mind, I don't need that right now. But it is good to keep in mind for future.
Mm-hmm. And the Dust of Disappearance is 70.
Oh, yeah. 70 gold.
Yep.
Oche. Do I have anything useful in my... anywhere that I could trade with him? Probably not. Okay. I think Willow's gonna bring the... group huddle. Is there any reason to get dust disappearance? It feels like it'll be useful in general, but I don't know if it's 70 gold useful.
Yeah, I mean, you could give it to us.
We would use it eventually.
We might be able to use it to stake out with Warfred, yeah. But
yeah, but that's if he can't detect invisible things. It feels like it'd be useful, like when we're in a pinch, like you just hiya, I'm invisible, and then we run away, like Brasilia.
Yeah.
I just don't know if we need it like now. But now, the more I talk about it, the more it's gonna be one of those things.
I
where it's
wish
like,
I
don't
had
buy it
this.
now. I'm gonna wish I did. And Zeke's going to deliberately stage a battle where I'm gonna be like, damn, wish I could be invisible right now. So should I get Dust to Dissipate? You know what? How many golds are in a platinum?
10.
10 gold in a platinum?
Yeah. It's 10, 10, 10, 10.
But that doesn't... Ugh. The platinum feels like it should be worth like so much more exponentially.
Nah.
Just 10?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't have any money.
Can you ask
money to buy Dust Disappearance.
What?
Just remember that Willow would probably think I could convince Luca to buy this for me.
Willow wouldn't think that.
No, Willow wouldn't think that.
Since when has Willow ever thought that? They just declined a loan from Damon. If they're gonna pick anyone's pockets, it's his.
Yeah.
They're so deep.
Steal from the
Okay.
rich and give to the needy, being you.
Yeah, Willow's not willing to admit they're needy. So, yeah. Question about the periapt of wound closure is
Yes.
that
I want one of those.
is it reusable?
Yes, it is a continuous magic item. It's not a one-use only thing.
Okay, let me do my maths real quick. Willow's calculating.
If you want to have a word of advice from Damon, who says, Malachi's knickknacks are cute, but if you want what you were looking for, he sort of gestures his head back. That pendant was pretty useful.
Willow did not actually seek his opinion, but thanks for offering it anyway.
He can see you overclocking and counting your money, which you do not have nearly enough to buy all of the stuff that you have found. Malachi's is like heavily discounted.
No, like, okay, and I imagine, it's funny because I imagine Willow keeps their gold in such a way that they can feel how much they have rather than actually counting it.
Yeah.
So, like, Damon's just watching them kind of drum their thumb along I imagine it like a little, like a Pringles tube, but small.
Yeah.
Like a Smarties tube full of, like, stacked gold. Yeah, they are thinking, they know that they're going to regret not getting the wound closure thing. But I'm just doing quick calculation.
Damon speaks up. Hey, Malachi. You keep some items on hold? You know, like a reserve at a library? Malachi's like, oh yeah! If you don't have the money right now, well, I can keep things aside. At least for a week or two.
Wait. Oh shit, this is so bad. Do I have anything else to buy anytime soon?
I don't know.
2, 3, 4.
I have so much money, this is painful.
Right?
Wait.
Like,
Let me
I would
just.
go-
Damon would too.
yeah, but I'm cute.
Regret to inform you something about our friggin' employer. Wait, okay.
Apparently, he's untrustworthy. Never.
Oh
never would've
my
seen that
god.
coming.
No.
Wow.
Okay, so I calculated the cost of everything I want.
Mm-hmm.
You said that a platinum is 10 gold?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did I remove... Oh no, my book! Did I remove the cost of the book yet? How much was my book?
80 gold.
80.
80? I didn't remove it yet, did I? Shit! My maths! What's 241 minus 80?
241 minus
161.
80. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
161? Shit ass! Sorry to do maths on stream. D&D, please. Damn it, shit.
I love math.
Okay.
So the sound of you eating the maths.
Yeah, I guess so. I had just made it so that I could afford everything I wanted, but I would have emptied my bank account. Like my wallets would be literally empty. Like just enough, but I forgot about the book. Damn it, hell. So let me quickly 155 plus 170, 190. That's already over my limit.
Maybe come back later.
Yes. No, yeah. No. This is even just the stuff from the other place.
Oh. But you got the poison detection tags and the umpire's coin for a discount. You can get that here for a discount.
Oh, right. Yes, because I don't need all 30.
Nope.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Wolford tries to poison me 28 times.
Maybe this one will stick.
Why are they not dying?
No, you're eating all the pieces.
Yes, okay, that helps. All right, so
The poison for Willow. Willow's poison.
Yeah.
that
Yes,
poison.
that poison.
Yes, that poison. Okay. Well, on that note, then I think I can factor in that. I don't even think Willow. Like, I'm looking at Willow like, take a loan from Damon, but I don't think that occurs to them to say yes, which is stupid.
Yes.
But whatever. I think their pride activates by accident sometimes, so like they didn't even mean to. Alrighty. Okay. I would like to also just started pouring over here. Please leave. I
Bye.
need that right now. I just walk out. All right. Okay. Sorry. 1 more minute. What is 145 plus 25? 170. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's gonna have to do. Alright. Willow's gonna... From here, anyway. You know what? They're gonna ask Damon.
You doing okay there, Twinkle Toes?
Willow's just been maths memeing silently for the past, like...
I want to say 15 minutes.
15?
Been a while.
It'll be 5. Well, Willow's contemplating all the time, but I think the actual like dedicated standing there thinking would it be like under 5 minutes, about a song's worth of time.
Mm-hmm.
Damon sings a song in his head, looks back, yep, still counting.
I think because the thing in Willow's head is they want to buy both umpires' coins. Is that something I can easily replicate on my own once I know what one is?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So I'd only need to buy one.
Yeah.
TBH, I'd probably buy the more expensive one. Because if there's anything to analyze about it, it would be like newer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so analyzing the umpire's coin, you reckon it's easily replicatable?
Yes. Not within a single night.
That's okay. Because my concern is for the other guys. I feel like they could also benefit from having an umpire's coin. That's why I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, actually, I think if Damon asks, Willow might say, as an employer of the odds and ends, could I request a purchase be made on account of one of my colleagues?
Sure.
Willow's going to tap the umpire's coin. I think this might be useful.
Damon nods. All right.
Or if he's willing to buy, should I also get the dust of disappearance? No. I'll tell you guys about it though. And then I think Willow can afford everything else for their own. They're going to get the 5 poison tags from here.
So
God, I'm sure
35
Dan just
silver.
picks out 20 gold like nothing from his pocket.
I think Damon writes a check for Malachi.
A check?
He's definitely older than he looks. He's like 90.
He's just 45. No, okay, so Willow's going to see the checkbook and be like, maybe I should get you to do Dust of Disappearance. I don't know what it's useful for. I suppose it's always useful to be invisible. Actually invisible.
Are you muttering this out loud or just in
Yes.
your head?
No, it's out loud, and Willow, I think, like, rests with their finger on their lips and then looks at Damon as if to, like, glean silently whether it is useful to have or if they're just buying it. Just because.
I think Damon gives you a little smirk and says, "Could you keep the Dust of Disappearance on hold for us? We'll probably be back."
Willow has that dawning realization that they spoke out loud, and they would just put their silver on the counter and just, like, they're giving a gold to, Malachi.
Malachi's like, "Sure thing! Love a repeat customer."
Ew.
You buy the poison tags. Damon buys the somewhat damaged umpire's coin. And the Dust of Disappearance is on hold.
Okay. Alright, so, jeez. Oh, maths. 158. And then... I'm doing my fucking darndest right now.
I think we'll close out on this scene here. You can do maths in the background.
Yeah, oh man, I had one more question for him. Can I ask it on the
Yeah.
way out? I know that I've spent ages
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, because then on the way back to the first shop that we went to,
Mm-hmm.
with all of that in mind, all of my stuff mapped out, and the plan ahead, I have one more question for Damon.
Yeah.
Which is...
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about the slumbering tyrant?
Slumbering, no, but if you're asking about strange creatures related to the Dalkir with the fixation on eyes, sounds like that could be an eye tyrant. Ever heard of a beholder?
Willow shakes their head.
That's where we close that scene.
Oh!
Bitch.
Oh boy.
Oh, no! Oh dear! Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This whole cutaway has just been you finding out N you're in trouble while N is over here with Brina.
In trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
every time I talk to Damon, it's like, ooh, Ant's in trouble, over and over and over again.
Oh.
Yep.
Shit.
We cut over to Brina and Audrey waiting
Yeah.
outside of the apartment of Tarek Elham in the Quayside Court.
Yeah, I think Audrey might I imagine Audrey was kind of reading over the testimony as they transported from
Yeah.
with their legs from
Yes.
from the office to there, and might message Brina because she doesn't necessarily want to be talking aloud in front of Geraldine's door, Tarek's door. One thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just thought I'd mention that during the ritual,
Meraldine appeared kind of confused as to why she accused Arl of the murder in the first place, as if, well, my inclination was that she didn't seem like something she would naturally do. And considering everything else surrounding this case, well.
Yeah. I'll be sure to factor that in.
Audrey nods.
It would not be surprising if they're trying to frame the captain for these things as well.
Well, certainly not, since they were using her visage to hide the real culprit.
Audrey twinkles her fingers.
Yeah. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain Meraldine Frostroot has arrived, meeting you at the door, keys in hand, looking a bit wan under her perfect makeup. She leads you inside with a little preamble.
Yep, Audrey
The
introduces
interior,
herself.
yeah. Meraldine, yeah, Brina introduces you and Meraldine nods and simply leads you upstairs. The interior of the building has no elevator, simply a stairwell. Elm's apartment is directly under the roof of the building. The skylight in the hallway has a cluttered view of the city beyond. Here we are then, Captain Frostroot announces as she opens the door and walks briskly into the apartment. Your first impression is that the apartment is a bit small and a little messy, but clean enough considering it has been uninhabited for a week. Except for the pile of wilting bouquets that have been discarded on the dining room table, which you can see from one side of the foyer.
Yep. Can I do a general perception check? See if there's anything
Yep.
of particular interest.
Yeah. So, entering the apartment, you stepped into a modest foyer and immediately notice the staleness of the air inside. To your left stands a practical set of coat and umbrella hooks, as well as a wooden sideboard and a rack, housing 4 sets of shoes kept neatly out of the way. There are other more colorful touches too. A tall, bushy ficus plant grows from a pot on your right, and 2 decorative Siren half masks hang on the wall next to the entrance to the parlor. One depicts an owl bear shining with sleek, deep blue-black indigo feathers, and the other a golden almirage with curls and freckles of light cream paint framing its eyes and spiraling horn. Covering the floor is a narrow olive green rug leading further inside. You can also see the parlor, which is mostly taken up by 2 cream sofas, their arms and legs of rich dark wood, which frame a glass coffee table. Handful of small embroidered pillows and a soft tasseled blanket provide subtle pops of color throughout the space. Along the farthest wall sits the fireplace, its ashes long cold but yet to be cleaned out. A large, well-loved armchair has been carefully positioned next to the fireplace to best enjoy its warmth when in use. Bookshelves dot the surrounding walls with the occasional wood and copper carving in traditional Siren style. Propped up against the shortest sofa is a sizable painting, still only half out of its wrapping paper and twine, revealing the corner of a gilded frame and textured oil paint. And you can also see further down the whole of the foyer past the parlor, the dining room table, rectangular wooden, capable of folding out to accommodate more people. Currently surrounded by 6 dining chairs, one slightly pulled aside. And atop the table, the haphazard pile of about a dozen once extravagant, now wilting bouquets, with corners of paper envelopes poking out underneath.
Do the bouquets look like funeral or celebratory?
A mixture of both, but mostly funeral,
Right.
that have been moved and discarded by Meraldine away from the front door.
Yeah, I think Audrey is gonna have a noticeable pause on the portrait that hasn't been fully unwrapped yet. She's peering around at everything, but
Yeah. Brina speaks up. Thank you, Captain Frostroot, for letting us do this. I understand it's been a very difficult week. Geraldine gives a curt nod. Of course, we have both been very busy, as I understand. You have questions for me, Detective? Brina nods. Yeah. Will you mind if my assistant starts taking a look around the premises? Geraldine glances over to you. Make a persuasion check, Audrey.
Oh dear.
oh boy.
I think I'd rather prefer to keep my eye on you both. If that's all right. Brina says, oh, of course, perfectly understandable.
Yeah, I can start right here.
And Audrey gestures at the portrait, and she's gonna go over to it.
Okay. Geraldine does a little squint, and Brina takes point with saying, how about we start the interview? How would you describe your relationship with Mr. Elham? Geraldine sort of flicks her gaze back to Brina, and then back to you as she answers. We were lovers. Oh, and I was acting as his business advisor and agent before that. Brina nods. Might I ask how you and Mr. Elham met? Would you like to make an investigation check on the portrait?
I would.
Oh boy. Oh. Past 10.
So, the portrait is a courtly painting of Tarek in bright Syrian clothes, sitting in 3/4 profile at a writing desk with a globe, a scroll, and ink. Pen in hand. The background is split out of 2 windows, the harbor of Recalport on the right and the vermishards of Metrol on the left. There is red, orange, yellow, bright colors, and a blue for the skies.
Yes, red. Did you say the red is dominant or just part of everything
Just part,
else?
I would say. But it is a sizable painting. You
Yeah.
would say. I would describe it as like the size of your torso.
Yeah, so big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Audrey's like rubbing her chin and examining it. Kind of peeled away more of the paper a bit.
Mm-hmm. Geraldine answers in the background. We'd initially met once before in 991 in the Syrian town of Seaside while I was still a merchant. We had a brief flirtation at the time before going our separate ways. Then I met him again in Regalport about 3 years ago. He was reciting some poetry to a fellow displaced countryman in a pub. Obviously, he was much worse for wear at the time, and I had no intent of pursuing any romance. But I was enchanted by his words and his sense of conviction. Then I discovered he was writing an opera, and I was allowed to read it. It was an undiscovered masterpiece. I decided to pull some strings and set up his acquaintance with South Thrani, working as his agent in addition to being captain of the Sea Dragons at the time. And then, somewhere along the line, we went from amicable business partners to amorous ones. We got along well, and I've never been opposed to mixing business and pleasure. The rest, as they say, is history. Private history. Brina nods, says, Right, Mary. Very well, did you notice any unusual behavior in Mr. Elham before his death? Yes, I now understand it as the effects of a long-term poisoning, thanks in part to your detective work. He had increasing migraines and was generally irritable and slept poorly more often than not. The signs were subtle, easily dismissed as stress by the man himself. Yeah, that's the problem with a chronic poisoning. It tends to build up pretty slowly. Do you then know the names of any specific enemies that Mr. Ellum had? None who were in attendance that night. Other than the man I intended to duel with, of course. Yeah, that guy, while we're on the subject of the night, could you confirm your movements on the night of the 18th of Travago? Audrey, are you doing anything else in the background while this is going on?
I wouldn't mind having a closer look just in the room I'm allowed to wander and just look for anything that might
I think Brina
catch my
is
interest.
walking so that you can, like, do a little more investigating.
Yeah.
If you want to do another perception check, sweep.
Yeah, I'm interested in, like, his medications and his letters. So.
Mm-hmm. So, you do a sweep of the dining room, but you are reluctant to move anything out of its place. Most of the letters that you can sort of see at a glance don't seem to be from anyone recognizable. And you don't really feel like pushing your luck under Meraldine's watchful eye.
For now.
But there does not look to be anything too out of place in the dining room. You suspect that more interesting things will probably be in kitchens or bathrooms or in Tarek's bedroom.
Yeah, which is kind of where I'm angling, but I'll not push too hard yet.
Yep. So, Meraldine answers, confirming her movements up until the auction. It's all stuff that you've heard before. And she says, between items, I briefly left the room to look for him. I saw Mr. Ellum walking with purpose down the North Hall, in the company of a person that I believed at the time was Mr. Errol Dithrani. Believed at the time, has that changed? I have my suspicions that there was illusion at work. It is the only way to make sense of the contradiction at hand, isn't it, Detective? And Brina says, yes, that would certainly explain a lot of things about the, discrepancies. I think I'll go help my, assistant here do a quick sweep of the apartment, and, we'll continue the interview in a little bit. Meraldine gives quiet assent and watches as you move through the kitchen. So, the kitchen is reasonably sized and relatively sparse, inhabited by a bulky wood-burning stove, topped with a gleaming silver kettle on one of its hot plates, both cold. Most of the space is taken up by an extensive cabinet of crockery, its pieces ranging from simple cups and plates to more elegant teapots and carafes. Brina sets up a spell. She is ritually sweeping for detect poison and disease.
Nice.
And if you want to do an investigation check with advantage.
Sure.
There we go.
That's more like it.
So, as you sweep through, you help by, like, sort of, because Brina only has so much time on that spell per casting, and it is a ritual spell that that takes some time to set up. You sort of start picking out ones that you think might be likely suspects. One of the fancier teapots you notice has a little bit of red glaze on the inside. You pull it out, and Brina takes a look at it Inside there is chipping lacquer that makes it a likely source of poison.
Captain Frostroot. Rena can go ahead.
Looks like one of our... We've got one source, but let's keep going.
Yes. I'll hold that question.
You were saying?
I think.
What was your question?
I'll ask it now.
Just curious, Captain Frostroot, how often do you stay here?
I visited frequently, but stay would be a bit of a misnomer. I perhaps spent a night or two once in a while.
I see. So, would you have any estimate of how many visitors Elham had?
I'm sure a few he did entertain occasionally. But in terms of who would have access to the apartment consistently, that would simply be Mr. Elham himself, myself having a spare key, and a woman that I believe he has hired to do the cleaning now and then.
Audrey nods.
Was the portrait painted here, or was that elsewhere?
I am not entirely sure. I believe it was painted here more often than not.
Audrey nods.
I recall reading that you were the one who encouraged him to get a portrait. Was that correct?
It was.
But other than that, you didn't have too much involvement?
No, I was rather busy with my own affairs at the time.
Naturally. Well, I was simply curious about the process. What made you pick the location and the painter, but that sounds like it wasn't in your hands.
No, I recommended the studio to him, but the rest he did himself.
I see. Thank you.
You turn away from that and go back to help Brina, who is nosing through the pantry. The roof slopes downwards in the farthest corner, making the space feel more enclosed despite the light coming in through the window. The smell is noticeably worse in here, even more so once Brina lifts up the lid to take a peek inside the cold box. Some of the food has spoiled. She pulls a face and shuts it.
Definitely
That might
poison
need
in
to
there.
be dealt. Yeah, I don't know about that. The rest of the wood shelves contain a not inconsiderable amount of alcohol, wines, and the occasional whiskey, all of pretty decent quality, along with more basic pantry staples, grains, flour, some potatoes. Cleaning supplies are also stashed here. Rena does a quick sweep. None of the alcohol is at least contaminated. Though the spoiled food is making her keen to keep moving.
Yeah. Well,
There's
Well, the spell is still up. I think Audrey is definitely angling for the bathroom, but she'll
Yeah.
let Brina go at her pace.
Yeah, I mean, Brina can recast it again, so she's taking more care to be thorough.
Yeah. Cool. My cat saw something outside, so there's a cat outside of Tarek's
Yeah.
apartment right now, adding ambiance.
Yep. A cat is on the balcony meowing at Brina's pigeon.
Oh, Peter's made a friend.
A mortal rival.
Your days are numbered, you feathered fiend. How dare you show your face at this place?
Oh my god.
Yeah. The half bathroom that is adjacent to the dining room has nothing really of interest. So you move along down the corridor to the other side of the apartment and start with the main bathroom. There is a moderately sized wooden bathtub with a brass shower head and finishings. Adjacent to it is the sink, crowded with a variety of little vials and tubs of makeup, as well as glass bottles of
spicy, fruity-smelling colognes. A rack of plain towels hangs by its side near the small, frosted glass window. Verena starts going through basically everything, and soon things start piling up. Contaminated perfume bottle, contaminated hair pomade.
Ooh.
Various skin products, things like that. All of them just traces, but because Brina is being so thorough, she is noting each one that is coming up as a blip.
Yeah, I think Audrey's face kind of grows a little more grim as the products start piling up. Like, wow, someone really, speaking of thorough about what they were contaminating here.
If it were just one of these things, I don't think it'd be severe enough to cause poisoning, but considering how many of them, it sure adds up.
Meraldine standing in the doorway, arms folded. Her expression flat. Cold.
Derek did all his own grooming and makeup, did he?
Mostly, yes.
Audrey nods.
Make an insight check.
Thank you. Yes.
You can tell from her expression and how you pull out more and more of the products. A lot of these were probably gifts from her.
Oh.
Oh, God.
The stuff that's not contaminated seems more basic. And it does seem that, like, while Elham had a taste for some of the finer things in life, he was not above sort of simple practical fare. Like, his soap is not especially fancy, but that's not contaminated. All the stuff that would be luxury seems to have traces of things.
Hmm.
Stuff that could get on somebody's hands and then during the course of the day end up in their mouth.
Yep.
Rena says, oh, well, let's keep moving.
Audrey nods.
You
She's
head.
holding some questions until later.
Yeah.
We don't want to be kicked out too soon.
Nope.
Uh,
I'm imagining Brina just going through and like marking certain things with like a oil marker, like a grease paint marker.
Mhm.
Which ones are contaminated, with like a little X's on the lids and stuff.
Good.
Geraldine is not saying anything anymore. She is just watching.
Mm-hmm.
Very tense.
Audrey gives a polite
You-
smile as they pass by to move to the next area.
You move to the bedroom. Below the window across the back wall sits Tarek's bed, a wide, flat king size with a low headboard. It's covered in light linen sheets and a duvet covered in patterned abstract florals, with one more plush blanket draped over the foot of the bed. There are two side tables on either side. Upon closer inspection, one of those is crammed full of various clutterings, tissues, a notepad, cough lozenges, and the like, and the other one is empty. You can easily guess which side Tarek slept on. To one side sits another armchair with an elaborate tapestry of interlocking geometric patterns hanging on the wall above it. There's also a wooden paneled folding screen close to a large old-fashioned wardrobe. The slight angle of the ceiling in here makes it feel like the overall space is a little more intimate. Brina briefly asks permission and opens some drawers. The wardrobe. Give me another investigation check with advantage.
Okay.
ooh.
So you have a quick look through. Inside of the wardrobe, there are colorful clothes that have been carefully preserved but not worn for years. And on the other side of it are duplicates in black that have seen more recent use. You pat down pockets. There's maybe like a little bit of loose change, a folded up business card or two. Nobody that you would recognize the name of. You go through the things on the bedside table, being especially careful to check anything that would be ingested, so cough lozenges, headache tablets, that sort of thing. These are noticeably not contaminated.
Clean. Gotcha. That would be too easy, and that wouldn't frame Meraldine, so...
Mm-hmm.
I think you also find a dog-eared paperback novel of truly terrible pulp quality. And Brina says, well, I think we're all done here. One room left? That would be his office, right? Geraldine says, yes. Follow me. She opens the door to the office and lets you two walk inside. This room is clearly the most lived in of the entire apartment. Tarek's oak desk and high-back chair sit adjacent to the window, so that he would only need to turn his head to be able to catch a peek of the bright ocean between the closely packed buildings outside. The surface of the desk is littered with just about everything you'd expect from a writer: fountain pens, quills, some more elaborate than others, glass inkwells, a couple books oddly sandwiched together so as to mark their place mid-cross-reference, some plain leather-bound journals, and a neat stack of personal stationery set to one side. There are also paintings of Syrian landscapes hanging on the walls in here, making the room feel lighter and airier. Having examined the portrait previously, Audrey, you immediately recognize traces of this room being the influence for the background of the portrait.
So it's reasonable to assume that it was painted here.
Marina does one last sweep of the room for detecting poison. Make one more investigation check with advantage.
Okay. Nice!
Nice!
Yeah!
Yeah!
I just need some time to warm up.
Oh my gosh!
The pendulum swing on that.
Yeah.
Hell
And this
yes.
is the room I wanted to inspect the most, so I'm really pleased about this.
That's so good. Holy shit.
Hell
Jeez,
yeah.
I hand my epic highs and lows badge over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Super spot.
So, immediately on the surface, there are scraps of writing, half crossed out, rewritten bits of poetry or observations, sometimes just words. Dictionary and thesaurus, both well used. You find Tarek's journal/appointment pocketbook. There are lists of the appointments for the portrait sitting, performances, dates, all that sort of stuff. He does tend towards shorthand in his daily notes. There were many portrait sittings in his own apartment with the initials WB. There were dates marked with M. Notes on when his apartment was due for cleaning, certain rescheduling things. It's all stuff that would paint a pretty thorough picture of Tarek Alham's movements over the last few months. Perhaps not in complete detail, but certainly more than enough to establish his habits and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Brina finds a contaminated pot of ink and a fountain pen engraved on one side. from M. You set that aside and start digging through the waste paper basket.
Yep.
And you find in amongst, scrunched up, the thing that you were looking for most of all, his correspondence with Sir Edmund Beckett. Seems that there is only one letter, maybe 2 pages long. One of great compliments regarding his debut opera, and asking if he would be interested in bringing it to Sharn via Beckett's connections to various independent theatres. Then the compliments continue. It is very much a compliment sandwich. There are no names of the exact theatres that Beckett says, and no named persons that he might know himself. But there is a lot of focus, you would say, on Beckett's enjoyment of the raw emotion present in Tarek's work.
Yeah, I'll bet.
That he seems to more accurately portray the tragedy of the last 100 years than any other piece that Beckett has seen so far in his many years. That being said, as you look over it, it appears there was only ever one letter sent that Tarek replied to. You read that reply.
Yep.
And it was a staunch, if polite, refusal.
Yes. Which
To
leads
sell
us to here. Yeah, I think it's difficult for Audrey to hide how long she spends on that letter.
Rena gives you a look like, found something interesting?
Perhaps. Though I'm not sure it helps us right now.
Oh. Do you mind if we take this as evidence? Meraldine clears her throat and says, "May I see it first?"
Yep, Audrey will show it.
This is from nearly a month ago.
Do you recognize the name?
Yes, unfortunately. It's
Oh.
been cropping up a little more often than I would like.
Not a fan, huh?
I have my reasons to be suspicious of him. The old vulture.
Oh. Sounds like you know a thing or two. He approached you?
It doesn't matter because I declined his proposals.
What was he asking for?
Oh, the usual.
Audrey kind of
Brina
nods.
chimes in with, sorry, I'm not really familiar with the world of art and theater and all that stuff. Usual what? And, let's do a quick little rolly roll.
Dang.
That's rough. Can I give her advantage?
Yeah.
Try
Yes,
again.
please.
There we go.
Hey.
Little Audrey
Nice.
charm.
Meraldine does a little
The man in this letter was asking for Tarek to sell the rights to his play so that it might be performed in other theaters, particularly in Sharn. Tarek said no. Oh, that's a big deal, huh? Oh, gee. Geraldine says, you had more questions for me, Detective? Yes. You met the young gentleman, Luca Carnson. He was there helping with the Speak with Dead ritual. He passed that along, a transcription of that to me. He's working as an independent contractor for me, help with the case. I just wanted to ask you, what was your opinion on the testimony given during the Speak with Dead ritual? Geraldine flashes her an icy smile. It says, someone duped Tarek by pretending to be me, led him into the gallery, and then brutally tortured and murdered him for their sick enjoyment. Those are the facts of the matter. And my opinion, Detective, is that whoever did this should receive equal treatment. An eye for an eye is the rule of us pirates, didn't you know? I have a question for you, Detective. Sure, I'll do my best to answer. As you may have noticed, somebody has gone through the extensive trouble of poisoning many items in Tarek Elham's apartment. Almost all of them gifts from me. But, as we both know, it makes no sense for me to try and murder him and then resurrect him. Especially since I have made it a clear point to avoid accepting any monetary support from outside sources on that matter. What's that insight check for?
I'm just seeing how she's feeling about this and her honesty levels.
Honest but murderous. She's
Okay.
about to get into something.
So, Detective, I would like to ask you your opinion. Do you think I am responsible for the death of Tarek Elham? And Brina says, No, I wouldn't say so. I would say it is looking very much like somebody is trying to frame multiple people, but especially yourself, as being responsible in one way or another for Mr. Elham's death. And Geraldine says, Good, so you would vouch for my innocence, yes? I would say it's highly unlikely that you had anything to do with the demise of Mr. Elham. Geraldine says, Good. In that case, Detective, I would like you to tell me the name of the chief suspect, so that I might resolve the case myself, quite abruptly.
Audrey's gonna step in at that point and like glance at Brina, like kind of for permission to speak before she starts.
Well, and Brina looks at you and says, well, I guess you better speak up.
Yes, on that note, you do seem like a very ambitious woman that would want to take matters into your own hands. And I don't disagree, Captain Frostroot. However, if I might bend your ear for a moment.
Make it quick.
I have reason to believe that whoever did this to your partner might be involved in something larger. And if we are too hasty, then I just think it would be a shame if you went through all this trouble to bring back Tarek Elham only for someone else to come and repeat the process.
Like a persuasion check with advantage.
Damn. That was free phrase. She is pretty murderous.
Oh, 21 murders?
Yes, as my assistant is saying, before we tell you exactly who we suspect, I wanted to ask you if you would be willing to participate in perhaps setting up a trap for the killer rather than rushing in. Meraldine says, well then, music to my ears. What's the plan, ladies? And we zoom out the apartment window, watching as Audrey and Brina conspire with Captain Meraldine Frostroot to set a trap for a murderer who has been blaming everybody but themselves for the demise of Tarek Elham.